in a world crying out for a top 10 show. John Rocha and Matt Knost are here to bring you the top 10. Brought to you by the Schmoes Know. Take it away, boys. Welcome, everybody, to this week's edition of the Top 10 Show. I am John Rocha.
I am Matt Knost.
And we are coming to you from a cavernous conference room here at Collider Studios because there's a music video being shot here on the other side. So if you hear people rumbling around or you hear music being played that you might not particularly like, well, that's what's happening. They're shooting a music video. And so it's a bit crazy today. We had some technical difficulties. We squared it away. And thankfully, our guests stayed long enough to record the podcast with us.
You put the boot on my car. I can't really go anywhere.
Listen,
John.
I've seen it happen before. And fool me once, but, fool me twice. Whatever George Bush said. So there we go.
He's known for that axiom, is he?
He's known for messing it up.
I understand that, but you just attributed him the actual axiom. You're like, hold on now.
What is he? Fool me once, fool me twice.
We can't get fooled again.
You can't get fooled again. Anyway, all right. So I want to introduce our guest.
Sure.
And let's get it going. He's a noted actor.
Oh, noted.
Yes. You've seen him for numerous decades, I would say.
Wow.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, I would
Technically,
say so.
I am in my third decade, not my personal, but decades as they are scored on the calendar.
Yes, third decade acting. It's been an interesting ride to get to know this person through the Schmodown because I'd always watched him on the films,
What?
And I was like,
without a doubt,
this guy's into the Schmodown.
Yeah.
What?
Yeah.
And I don't know what else to say. I mean, we'll talk about it in a little bit, but
sure, man.
The great Samm Levine.
Oh, thank you, John.
Yeah.
Thank you, Matt. It is a pleasure to be here.
We pitched this to you, and you were like, send me topics.
Yeah.
And so we sent you topics, and you were into it. The top 10 best comedy sequels.
Yeah.
And we're doing this in honor of what's the film coming out? Do you remember, Matt?
No.
Yeah.
No,
my boy Matt's fried today.
I know. I screwed us 6 ways to Sunday on the outset, and as soon as I walked in, literally I dropped my shit. I was like, oh, God damn it.
Yeah, it really fell to the ground. It was something I've not seen from Matt Knost before in my entire life.
I finally finished up all my bullshit, and I was like, yes, I get to go have fun, and then I show up, and I'm like, I fucked up the fun. My life has been nonstop, and just like I was so looking forward to just doing this, zoning out, doing movies. I love this shit. And
but it's for Super Troopers 2. That's why we're doing it, because it's coming out next week.
Yep.
Which what was it? Rampage was supposed to come out next week, and they moved it. So Super Troopers 2 now owns 420.
Good for them.
Numerous reasons.
Good for them.
But Sam, I know you're the movie trivia Schmodown champion.
As were you, and will be again, I'm sure.
Stop it.
Let's be honest.
Don't start that. This is how he gets you. This is how he gets you.
I mean it.
This is how he gets you.
Look, I don't want to make this a Schmodown thing, but I've had this conversation with everyone. On any given day, any one of the Schmodown competitors can have their best day or their worst.
Yes, very true.
We've all been there.
Yeah.
So it's just about the day. It's about a lot of luck, and it's about how your brain decides to work that afternoon.
Yes.
So that's my favorite thing about it is once I came to terms with that, I was like, then whatever happens. It's fine.
Oh, wow.
If my worst day coincides with John's best day, he's going to win. That's that.
Yeah.
You know?
And then sometimes you're off by
I like that's the polarity for you, though. It's either you have to be at your worst and his absolute best for you to lose to him. I like that.
That is not.
That's a competitor right there.
What I meant. And
that is a competitor.
That should not be the takeaway.
And that's why I like you. You know what I mean? It's subtle. Like it. It's a good jab right underneath. You think he's paying a compliment.
No. You've got to get so lucky.
At 2 Levine?
You gotta get Lena Headey'd right in the wazoo, my friend.
Deaf to everything, son of a bitch. Sam, can you let the fans, can we get to know you a little bit before we start here?
Sure, man.
If it's all right with you, Matt, I just wanted to find out, Where are you from originally?
I hail from the mean streets of New Jersey.
Oh, Jersey boy.
Yes.
Right on. And
Whereabouts?
Northern New Jersey, a town called Fort Lee, which is spitting distance right outside of Manhattan.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
So did you grow up with this whole idea of wanting to be an actor? Like, how was it? How did this all come through for you?
It struck me, originally I didn't want to be an actor. I wanted to be a stand-up comedian. And when I was 11 years old, I started doing stand-up for friends and family.
At 11?
Yes, it was mostly not my own material. It was the late
At
great-
11? No, you didn't have a solid 10 of all original?
Not until I was
slacking
12.
ass.
Not till I was 12. Took me a whole year. It was the late great Richard Jeni. I had memorized his act, and I would do it for friends and family. And then when I turned 12, I started doing it at my friend's bar and bat mitzvahs. And being a Jew from northern New Jersey, there were quite a few
Business was booming.
benign mitzvahs that I attended.
Did you ever get tipped? Did you ever get paid to do this? Like, with the bar
I didn't get
mitzvahs?
paid doing bar mitzvahs.
Did you get tips or anything?
No, I didn't get any
nothing?
tips. It was fun.
Free home, free humor.
What's his name? Was it O'Quinn on the Knicks? Whatever their
Kyle
singer is.
O'Quinn?
Yeah. He goes to bar mitzvahs now. He gets paid to show up to be like the life of the party, get people dancing.
What?
And,
Wow.
yeah.
You're not making enough as an NBA player? You got to go do that?
He got invited apparently to one bar mitzvah, loved it, was dancing around it, enjoying the living shit out of it. Now he just does bar mitzvahs when he can fit it in
Let
his
me tell
schedule.
you, I didn't have a whole lot of friends like this, but I had one or two friends who had bar and bat mitzvahs that were like the royal fucking wedding.
Wow.
These people had so much money to set on fire for their 13-year-old kid.
Jesus.
So that would not surprise me if a kid's like a huge basketball fan.
Yeah.
And the dad's got an extra $150,000 laying around. I'm assuming. I don't know what he charges.
Sure.
Maybe I overshot the mark. I don't know. But yeah, I did one. I played my friend Jason's bar mitzvah, and it turned out Lisa Kudrow was his cousin.
Wow.
And she was at the affair, and then afterward asked me if I was a professional, and I said no, and she said, "Well, you should be.
Wow.
You seem like you have the timing for it." I was like, "Okay, how do I do that?" And she was like, "It's New York. Buy Backstage magazine. I can't imagine you'll have any trouble finding a
So
representation."
dismissive.
Wow.
So, yeah.
No,
At the same time helping?
Not like that. No, I'm being dismissive. She was very sweet about it.
I'm saying like it's like when a new comic, what can I do? Just die on open mics. You literally need to do that for a long time to figure out what you suck at and what you're good at on stage, and then build from there. You got to tear down before you can build up.
Yeah.
It's the same thing. Go to Backpage. Like I can't walk you through it, but trust me, it's easy.
Yeah,
if
she
you're
was like-
good.
Yeah, she said it nicely. She was like,
Yeah.
"This is New York, like Backstage magazine. There's no way you won't find an agent in there." I was like, "Okay." So I did exactly that. I bought Backstage. I called. There was a manager who was advertising in there. Literally, his advertisement said, "Are you a kid? Do you do stand-up?" Oh my God. If so, call Gold Star Talent Management. And that is how I found
beautiful.
Sid Gold, my first manager in New York.
I was about to ask, how Jewish was that manager?
Oh boy, howdy!
Sid Gold, I love it.
yeah,
Come in here, Sam.
Yeah.
Exactly. Sit
It's actually-
down.
yeah, it's-
just chomping on a cigar, perhaps.
Yep.
He's got paper files.
Yeah.
Like
Remember those old propaganda photos of like the evil Jew from World War II? That was a picture of him. That's how Jewish Sid Gold was.
Oh my God! What we did to the Japanese, their version of it.
This is the enemy. They showed the enemy.
Oh dear God!
terrible.
Well,
That's
So from there,
great.
you started. Were you doing commercials? Were you doing bookings?
so yeah, so he started. He was the one who was like, "I want to send you out on proper auditions." I was like,
Wow.
okay." So yes, he started sending me out on commercials
Interesting.
and TV shows, and well, actually, no. The first TV show I ever really got to audition for was Freaks and Geeks.
Oh
wow!
That was the first
And
pilot
then
audition I ever had.
And that's fucking nailed it.
Yeah.
You're one of those guys.
No, I'm one of
Because
those
we
guys.
chased guys like you our whole entire lives.
What are you gonna do?
I got lucky because I'd been doing it 5 years at that point, and Freaks and Geeks was specifically looking for unknown faces.
Right.
Like, that never fucking happens.
Yeah.
That is my outliers moment, was that they were looking for unknown faces between the ages of 14 and 17,
Right.
and I showed up.
Damn.
That was
Still,
it.
you got the gig.
Yeah.
That's impressive.
Thank you.
Yeah.
It was a lot of lucky factors, but yeah, I was the guy for the gig, I guess.
Luck only takes you so far. Talent.
Yeah, I guess you. Luck opens the door.
Yeah,
You got to be
sure.
good enough to
Talent.
step through.
That's
it.
all right,
exactly.
fellas. Thank you.
I'm
Thank
just
you. Very
saying.
kind.
No, it is 100%. Like you got to be a little bit lucky in this business.
Yeah.
So long, just give me the opportunity. I know I'm good.
And you gotta want it.
This specific, just don't get out of your depth.
Right.
Try not to.
Yeah, that's the biggest limitation.
So you got to see all these guys. You got to know all these people like right at their
at their
beginnings of their
beginnings.
careers.
Oh
right?
my
Jason
God! Yeah. Oh
Segel,
no, the
Franco.
list of people who I've worked with at this point, who I worked with them years before they were either nominated for or won an Academy Award,
Wow.
is ever growing.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah, Cardellini, I wish would get into a situation where she could get
It's just a
nominated.
matter of time.
Right? She's an incredible
She
actress.
has a great eye for good movies.
Yeah.
And it's just a matter of time for her before she finds the right script, the right director.
Right.
It'll be because I know her, it'll be some great indie that wins every festival
Yep.
and then gets a major release, and everyone's like, oh my God, I knew she was good, but
Yeah.
wow. And then guaranteed.
Yeah, because everyone talked about Kyle Chandler and Ben Mendelsohn in Bloodline, but for me, it was Cardellini who kept coming
Yeah.
and bringing me
She's
back
so
to the
great.
episodes. Because she doesn't have a fake bone in her body on screen. Like, I don't know the lady personally, but on screen,
Yeah.
I've never seen her do a terrible performance or have an inauthentic moment on screen. That's incredible.
I agree with you completely.
Yeah.
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 She is never, not one bad take.
Wow. And so from Freaks and Geeks, you started.
So yeah, so then that was an incredible springboard for me, because even though the show,
because there's only one season, right?
It was one season. Even though it did not play, we had the worst numbers ever. People in LA and New York watched it.
Yeah.
Industry people in the know watched it, and to get to keep working. That's all you really needed, was to have them watch the show.
Right.
It's like the Arrested Development kids, like
Yeah.
Michael Cera and Alia Shawkat.
Yeah.
Like, the luckiest thing that ever happened for them was that show played great in LA and New York.
Right.
Yeah.
Because
Right.
those are the people who are going to keep hiring them.
Yeah, that's a good point.
And I mean, I don't want to pick a show at random, but let's just say, according to Jim,
Sure.
there were kids on that show.
Just the 10 of us, there were kids on that show.
I mean, I don't want to be a shit
Yeah.
about this.
No.
I don't know those kids.
Yeah.
Yeah,
they worked for 10 seasons or whatever.
In
on
their
that
defense,
show.
though, they were asked to do something different than Michael Cera or the kids on Freaks and Geeks. They were asked to be basically a backdrop to this star.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So they don't get the meteor. I'm not denying
No,
what
I'm
you're
just saying it's the difference between a show that has huge numbers but plays in the heartland
Yeah.
versus a show that has anemic numbers but is a coastal show.
But in all those shows, though, there's a realness and a heart to all the characters, no matter what they're happening. Like on Freaks and Geeks,
Yeah.
and I think the genuine nature of it is why it still lives on, because the stories are universal, no matter what strata in high school or whatever you felt you were at.
Yeah.
And just all those. That's the impressive thing, is all those people you had never really heard about before this, and from there you're like, that guy was great. I want to see him go on, or that girl was great.
Yeah.
It's
All
impressive.
right, here's a perfect example, and I'm not shy about saying it because he's a wonderful guy and he has gazillions of dollars. If it were shows that played in the heartland, Mark Harmon would be the biggest movie star in the world.
Absolutely.
Yeah, it's true.
And for the record, Summer School is a damn good movie.
Oh, it's awesome.
I thought he was going to blow up from that.
He was voted People Magazine Sexiest Man Alive 1987 for a good goddamn reason.
Right.
Are you kidding me? He walked past me one time at a Padres game outside, and I was like, "Oh my God!"
Oh, yeah.
he's so strikingly handsome in
a
person.
good-looking dude.
Dreamy.
Yeah, he's shorter than I thought he'd be.
Yeah.
But he was, even with a ball cap on, you're like,
Yep.
dude, that dude is
Yep.
striking.
And I've worked with him. I did 2 episodes of NCIS, and he's a charming motherfucker,
How can you not be?
sweet guy.
Yeah.
And I was like, and I know this show is the #1 show on television
Right.
for 10 years now.
Yeah.
So if it were that, he would be George Clooney. He would be a giant movie star.
Yeah.
But it's
He
just
had a
weird how
shot,
TV
and
works
just-
that way.
It just didn't ever translate over.
No, it
You know, he
didn't.
had a few movies, and you're like, yeah, I like this guy, and just never really got the opportunity.
I think
after.
Harrison got in his way. Harrison Ford, in essence, is in the ballpark with Harmon. Both good-looking dudes, white guys, the sandy
Yeah.
blonde hair, like
Yeah.
sandy brown hair. But Harmon has some guys just don't. Some guys are just built in a different way. Their essence is different, and you can tell with Harmon. It's just a different essence. Like, that's
Yeah.
why you couldn't see Harrison Ford in Summer School. It just wouldn't work.
No.
Harmon has a great smirk to his acting, which is always there, which you enjoy. Worth Winning is even worth watching because of him
Wow.
and those kinds of things. So I'm
What's the
a
one that
closet
he did
Mark.
with Connery? I can only picture the movie poster, but I've never seen it.
Showdown question. Presidio? The Presidio?
Yes.
Yeah.
Well done.
God damn it.
Have you guys
Give me
seen
my
it?
belt back.
He
I
did
haven't
it.
seen that.
He did it.
Give me my belt back.
Is that any good?
Yeah, it's a decent movie.
Okay, that's what I assumed.
But it has a weird little. Sean Connery dressed while he was shooting the Presidio. He shot a cameo in a Billy Crystal film called Memories of Me with Alan King.
Oh, yeah.
And he's walking by, and Alan King is trying to brag about how much of an extra king of the extras he is. And Joe Beth Williams, yes, and Billy Crystal are kind of on their fence about it because, of course, they're father and son. He doesn't believe. And then Sean Connery walks by, and he goes, "Oh, Abe, is that you? And then they have a conversation. He's totally dressed up in his Presidio shit. He was like, that's so weird. That's so random.
Yeah.
But anyway, yes, Mark Harmon was great and all that kind of jazz. You know?
And I digress.
No.
Do you have one? And we're going to jump into lists here, but like, you work with Tarantino. Like, it was so interesting to see you in Inglourious Bastards.
Oh, thanks.
Because I was like, oh, what an interesting choice. And all around, BJ Novak, like
Sure.
People you wouldn't normally see in a war film showing up in this badass platoon.
Absolutely.
Or squad, rather.
That's 100% Quentin. He had it in his mind that he wanted to cast comic actors as the supporting bastards and as many actual Jews as he could get.
Yes.
His goal was to get all the bastards to be actual Jewish guys. He's had to settle for 3 out of 8. Which I was like, really? You couldn't find 8 funny Jewish guys in L.A.? All right. But yeah, so it was me, BJ, and Eli are the only actual Jewish guys.
Wow. Eli's an intimidating Jew.
That's
a strong guy.
That's a man who does not skip leg day. But so that was kind of bananas. I had met Quentin before I went and read For Bastards.
Okay.
I'd met him 5 years earlier because I had found out that he was a big fan of Freaks and Geeks.
Wow.
And so back when, and this is a million years ago, this was 2003, Jimmy Kimmel in his first year used to have guest hosts who were like sidekicks who would stay with him all week.
Yeah, I remember that.
And Quentin was one of them. And so I had an in with Jimmy. I've known Jimmy since 2000. And so when his show started, I used to just go hang out in the green room because it's an awesome green room. It's like a party room.
It was, yes.
This green room. It was kind of legendary for a minute
this is
in
the
there.
best. So you know Don Barris.
Oh, sure. And so when I knew Quentin was going to be on, I was like, I got to meet fucking Quentin Tarantino. He's one of my favorite directors of all time. And so I was like, I even got my in. All I got to do is just get a little bit of FaceTime with the guy, and then I can be like, move Freaks and Geeks. And so it worked out almost exactly as I'd planned.
Wow.
Like I spotted him in the green room, and I was like, hey, man, Samm Levine, I'm Judd's guy. He's like, oh, yeah, hey, what's up? He's like, I got to go do this show, but let's talk afterward. I was like, yeah, sure.
Wow.
So he goes out and does the show, and then he comes back, and then we're just hanging in Jimmy's dressing room.
Right.
Me and Quentin talking about anything and everything. Wow. And before I know it, we've been talking like 2 hours after the show is over, and it's just me and him now. And the entire green room, unbeknownst to us, is empty. And then the security guys walk in, they're like, we don't want to be assholes, but we kind of want to go home and can't leave until you do. And so he's like, oh, shit, sorry. And so then we're like walking out, and as I'm like, he's like walking to his car. He's like, hey, man, it was really fun talking to you. I'd love to work together sometime. I was like, yeah, that'd be all right.
Yeah. Of course.
Yeah.
I'm down.
Yeah, no, man, I hope that works out. Yeah, call me. We'll see what I'm doing.
Yeah, right back at you.
Yeah.
Right back at you. I'll work on a project for us.
Yeah, I'm a big fan of some of your stuff.
Yeah. Here's
So,
my headshot. Here's my headshot.
Yeah, pretty much. So then I don't see him again for 5 years.
Wow.
Until I found out that they were looking specifically for Jewish comic actors for the bastard roles. And I called my people. I was like, you get me in the fucking room. Do not blow this one. And so they did. They called, and they were like, no, you were on their list. They were going to call us either way. So
perfect.
I went in and sat with Quentin, and we shot this shit for like a half hour. And then he gave me the script. He told me to come back, and I learned every line.
Wow.
For like 3 different roles.
Damn.
Perfect.
And I went in, and I went in on Monday, and then I read with him because he does the reading with you. Like, he doesn't have a casting assistant or another actor. No, he stands up with you and, like, looks into your eyes and makes you do the scenes with him.
God, I love that.
And, it's like nothing else I've ever done.
It's going to be intense.
Oh, it's crazy fucking intense.
Because he's bleeding the script.
Oh, my God.
And he wants you to bring it to life. And if you can actually do that, then it's just feeding his appetite for, I just want to keep going.
Yeah.
Wow, that'd be fun.
And you got to feed off of his energy.
Exactly.
And, like, if you can't keep up, So we did everything. We did a whole bunch of different scenes for Udovich, then Donowitz.
Oh, yeah.
We never did Hirschberg. And so I rayed with him for like a half hour. He's like, all right, man, thanks for coming in. And then I don't hear anything for 2 weeks.
Wow.
And then 2 weeks later, I'm in Chicago. And I was like, I got to get out of LA. I'm going crazy. So I went to go see some Cubs games. And that's when I get the call.
Damn.
He was like, they want you to do Hirschberg. I was like, I didn't even read for Hirschberg. For Christ's sake. And so that's how I wound up in that.
Well, that happens more often than people think, where you read for other roles, and then they cast you for another role in the project. Right?
Yeah.
It's so interesting.
It's happened to me a bunch since then.
Yeah.
But nothing like to that effect.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. And then, so you're working on a bunch of stuff now. You've been doing an independent film. You did something with Rob Riggle, and
I just finished a web series for Crackle called Rob Riggle's Ski Master Academy, which will hopefully be out. Oh,
is it a ski?
No, it's not ski. It's jet skis.
Because you had Knost if it was
exactly.
ski.
I love stupid, any like bad plot ski movie.
Oh, well, then I should introduce you to Dean Cameron.
Oh yeah, I love Dean Cameron.
Yeah,
Ski School came up on a list of ours. I brought it up.
He loves.
I love Dean Cameron. You kidding me? I mean, talk about a guy that's in summer school.
That's
Men at
right.
Work. Yeah. He's one of my favorite parts. The horror guy in summer school. Oh, he's
Chainsaw.
awesome.
Yeah.
Him and his buddies.
I always wanted him to have a huge career. That dude just cracked me up. I love him.
It's not too late, I say.
Yeah, so do I. I looked up his picture the other day just who he looked like, and I was like, hey, you could see him in 10 different things right now.
Well, I just shot a short film with him over last weekend.
Oh,
good for you.
He's a friend. He's a good dude.
That's awesome.
He's a director now. He's terrific. And what else? What the hell else am I working on? A show for True TV called Misfits and Monsters. Written and directed by Bobcat Goldthwait. Who's a fucking genius. And that's an anthology series. So I'm just in one episode, but that's going to air over the summer on True TV.
Great.
Check that out, man. Even though I'm only in one, all the episodes are so great and smart and funny and dark.
That's awesome.
It's great stuff.
Cool.
And then I don't know what else I'm in.
And then you're the champion. And who brought you into the Schmodown? Real quick. One last question before we jump into
it was Christian. Christian brought me in.
Did he know you?
Yes, because I've been a guest on the Schmoes Know podcast a couple times.
Okay.
And I remember when I saw the first season of Schmodown in 2014, like I texted him because he had brought me back on to do an episode of Schmoes Know just to play in the game.
Yeah.
Against Riley and Schnepp and Mance.
Right.
Okay.
And I went 5 for 5.
Wow.
Like, right off. And so then he was like, we got to bring you back in for this other thing we're doing. I was like, okay, tell me about it. He's like, it's a trivia thing, a movie trivia thing, but you'll be good. And I was like, okay, great. And then I didn't get the call for season 1 of the Schmodown.
Right.
And I texted him. I was like, what gives, man? You said you're going to bring me. He's like, I know. It got out of hand, and we'll bring you in the next season. And then he didn't do that either for 2015.
Wow.
And I was like, what are you doing, man? You're killing me. I'm watching this. I'm playing along at home. I'm crushing it. And he's like, all right, next year.
I just love you cockily watching the laptop, watching us fail. And you're like, look at these assholes.
No.
He won't give me a fucking text, and I am cleaning up.
Well, it got a lot fucking harder around 2016, as I'm sure you guys know.
Yes, it
so
did.
then I felt like a chump. I was like, where are the questions all about Point Break and Back to the Future only? Where are those? I was killing those.
I would love differentiation, like go deeper, like go into subgenres so a summer school comes up.
Yeah.
But we all have seen it, like of our age range. Movies like that, like... Please give me something for the old guys.
Yeah.
Like comedies from the 80s. No problem. I can do that all day long.
It's getting a lot fucking harder for guys our age.
Yeah, dude.
Because now they're asking about fucking Kingsman and Step Brothers and shit that we've maybe seen once or twice, but these young guys playing, it's their favorite movie.
Yeah, they grew up on it. That's in their rotation of like, hey, I get it, but I didn't see it at that age.
Exactly. I didn't see it at the age where I found that funny enough to watch it 18 times.
Right.
Yeah. It's a dedicated pocket. Trust me. A couple of these movies from that, on this list coming up, are kind of like that. It's just like, you know what? I could see that thing a million times. I don't care. It just hits me. I love this thing.
That's one of my greatest fears is I won both championships right before the questions started getting more obscure and more current. So I'm like, maybe we'll see if it ever happens again.
I just hate the wide variation because you get one, it's like practically esoteric. And you're like, okay. And then the next, you hear a competitor and their question is like, what color is Batman's cape? And you're like, which movie? And they give you the movie, the year, the actor that played it, and you're like, Jesus Christ.
No, it gets frustrating, but we all love it.
We do. And so let's jump out. So like I said, we're doing top 10 comedy sequels. Sam was very nice to select that subject and come on the show. So let's kick it off. Matt, do you want to tell them how the show works?
Once we set a topic, all three of us go our individual ways and create a personal top 10 list. We show back up here the way it works on a 3-man. I do my bottom 5. John does his bottom 5. Sam does his bottom 5. I do my next 3, 3, 3, and then we trade one apiece on those final 2. Once we have revealed our personal top 10 list, we create the shows between the 3 of us.
Kablam!
All right. And wait, tell me one more time about the punting?
Yes, Sam has a hard time with his punting thing.
Yeah, in the bottom. So in our bottom five, if you have any that I bring up and he doesn't have it at all, and you've got it somewhere in that 5, then we'll talk about it now. If you have it higher, tell me to punt. Basically, we're holding a conversation for when it's the most important to you on your list.
Got it.
So if I have if I say my number 10, but it's number 6 on your list, we're still punting.
We're still talking about it.
Oh, we're still talking about it.
It's in the bottom 5.
Okay, so if it's anywhere in the bottom 5, we don't punt.
Yeah, we talk about it unless somebody has it in 5, 4, 3 up
5,
above.
4, 3 or above.
Yeah.
Okay, so we're doing 10 to 6 right now to start.
10 to 6, and then 5 to 3.
Got it.
And then 1, 1, 1.
This is going to be a fun little one.
All right.
Okay, I'm just going to jump right into it.
Yes,
number 3, Back to the Future.
Number 3?
Pardon me, number 10, Back to the Future 3. I looked at the 3 down first.
Okay.
Okay, I like that you classify that as a comedy.
I was stretching because a problem is comedy sequels don't often work for me.
Fair enough.
They fail, and it makes me not appreciate where this one succeeds, where the second did not for me at all.
Right.
I don't mind it when I watch it, but it's not that much of a movie to me. Whereas the third, they brought back the fun of the first. So as far as a sequel, it kind of continued the legacy of the first for me. I'm like, okay, if that comes on, I don't mind certain sequences in that.
I mean, here's the thing: it's a great movie.
Yeah.
It's definitely better than Part 2. Part 1 is its own masterpiece, but for me at least. The first thing I think of when I think of Back to the Future 3 is not all the great jokes.
True. I classified it as comedy in that when I saw the first one, that was somewhat comedy to me and also graduated above, so it still stayed within that genre to me. So going forward, it's classified in my head
All right.
as
and
comedy.
also you're giving this as your number 10, so
it's my
there's
10.
a lot.
I'm not it's not the highest on my list.
This is one step better than honorable mention.
In essence.
The fans need to know who've never sat in the audience. Sam is very judgmental and on point.
Aren't we all?
Like when he is watching a match, he has a comment about every question.
I learned it from watching you. That's why I challenged you in the first place.
It's true.
Mr. Can't Sit Still. How do you not know that?
I know. Sometimes.
Come on, you need multiple choice. Get off the stage.
He's not lying. He's not lying. It's very true. We had our rivalry for a while. But it'll happen again. So okay. So that's your number 10. It's not on my list. It's not on your list.
It is not on my list.
Yeah,
I don't think of that as a comedy.
I just like how adamant you are about it.
It just to me, it's staying within the comedic tone. It's also comedy for kids, like family safe.
Sure. I was 8 years old when that movie came out, and I remember laughing really hard at the scene where Doc and Marty switch their catchphrases, and Marty says, "Oh, this is." Oh, great, Scott. And then Marty says, or Doc says, this is heavy.
I just remember the most distinct scene when I was a kid was the Biff Tannen, the horse manure right down onto him.
Yeah.
I was like, they continued that gag again. They brought it back. This is
Every
generational.
time. Every time.
Apparently, fates have screwed this one family at some point. Shit will get dumped on you.
But I always worried, did Mad Dog, Buford Mad Dog Tannen already produce the offspring that would then kickstart the rest of his family?
Or did it change
because
the
they
ripple in
change the past.
Yeah, you're right.
They get him sent to jail.
That's true.
So I'm like, I hope he has already had this child, this bastard child. Otherwise, they have just ruined the entire history.
Well, they've just altered history going forward.
Well, now, Marty, now who's going to pick on George McFly in the
There'll be
pictures?
someone else.
Well, okay.
Unless that family has pride and whatnot going forward, and their paths crossed and they're diverging.
All right, I guess what I'm saying is here, I think we figured out a way to create a brand new Back to the Future trilogy, and it's the alternate timeline where Biff never existed.
Perfect.
That's great. So what, the McFlys become the Biffs?
That's right. The
Biff has to
McFlys are the
stand
bad
up?
guys in this one.
Okay.
Long
It goes
enough to become the
darker. You
villain.
see him turn into Vader.
So dark.
This is heavy, Doc. All right.
Speaking of dark, number 9, Addams Family Values.
I can punt that.
I think that's
Okay. He's calling punt.
All right. It's a punt for.
I haven't seen it in a while. That's why I put it there.
Okay, yeah, it's a punt for me too.
Yep.
Okay. Number 8, Naked Gun 2.5.
Ooh, that is.
33 to 30.
That's my number 6. 2.5.
Yeah, and you don't have
I
it?
don't have it on my list.
All right.
Oh, you kidding
And I
me?
love that movie.
I'm a sucker for Naked Gun.
I love the Naked Gun movies.
Yeah, they're great movies.
They are terrific movies. I thought about having those on my list, but honestly, the only reason I didn't was because I thought one of you guys would, so I knew it would come up anyway.
God, I hate when people cheat like that.
It's fine.
Yeah, I think it's
fine.
a cheat.
You know what? It
What's
shows,
your honest list? Doesn't
it
matter what we
shows that
think.
they perhaps have listened to the show and they're like, I think they're going to talk about these, so I'll bring up something different. I'm going to take it as a compliment from us. That's what he does.
You know what
I mean?
listened to the show. I prepped for this.
You did.
Yeah.
You listened to our Stephen King adaptations.
So you had 2.5 as well?
Yes, I love 2.5. I mean, Leslie Nielsen, he's just so great in these.
Robert Goulet is the bad guy.
Robert
Goulet, man.
Yeah.
Goulet.
Just how this dude smelled like he's a head of an energy conglomerate or
Yeah.
something. Robert Goulet.
He's trying to seduce Priscilla Presley and
I
all
love
this
it.
kind of stuff.
Nielsen's rifling through the desk, and he just bingo, and just pulls out a bingo card with. I just love it. Are you kidding me? The stupid jokes. I wish I had been like of the age to watch Police Squad when it was on TV.
Yeah. Well, I was. Yeah.
You were?
Oh yeah.
Did you
I watched
watch
Police
it?
Squad. Yeah. My father never understood what I saw in that thing. It was on ABC.
It's
I made
so
him
good.
watch every episode. My dad was
wasn't it only like
"John,
6 episodes?
Why did you watch this? This is stupid. Nothing. This is not funny.
great.
My favorite is they're all standing doing the fake
The freeze frame? And then the one guy walks through? That's like,
I
you
love
fucking
doing
kidding
that
me?
shit.
So I would have died as a kid.
I mean, the best is the gunshot or the gunfight where they're
Over
like
the top of-
over, like literally 5 feet away from each
Yeah.
other. It's just brilliant stuff.
So
Anyway,
continuing that legacy on, like
Yeah.
that stupidity, the fact that everybody's a very serious actor and is just doing this,
Yeah.
it's just absurdity over and over with a straight face. I've loved all these, and no matter how bad it gets, there's still like a soft spot in my heart.
Wasn't it a weird time? Like it was so weird how these lounge singers started. Like Wayne Newton was a villain.
Yeah.
Living Daylights too.
Yeah.
And Living Daylights.
Yeah.
And Living Daylights, right? You're just like, what the hell's going on here? These lounge singers becoming like villains and shit. So it was interesting time. All right, what's your number 8, 7?
7, Austin Powers, The Spy Who Shagged Me.
It's the second one.
Second one.
Okay.
Could not, in good conscience.
I couldn't
are you
put
kidding
that
me?
one. That one's not on my list.
That's not on your list?
Not that one.
All right. Maybe I haven't seen it in that long then, because you guys are both giving me a look of discontent.
I just remember seeing it in theaters and being underwhelmed.
I didn't see it in the theater. I saw it later on, so maybe my expectations were lower.
All right. Yeah, it came out in 99.
Heather Graham.
Heather Graham, Vern Troyer.
Vern Troyer is great.
Yeah, it steals the show. Are you kidding
Yeah,
me?
yeah,
A
of
little
course,
mini
Mini-Me.
Dr. Evil? That does kill me. Mini-Me? Oh, no big deal.
Yeah,
Just,
I mean, all right. I would put it in my honorable mentions, but it did not crack my top 10.
Giacrides, that whole sequence with her trying to kill Austin, where they're shooting him and jumping out the window, all into the bomb, and then we get Fat Bastard, don't we? In Spy Who Shagged Me as well. Fat Bastard's in that one.
Yes, because he sleeps
Yeah.
with Heather Graham.
He sleeps with her.
yeah.
Yeah.
And he gets an expanded part in the fourth one, or the third one, which I did
right.
not see.
Oh,
What?
Never saw it.
What kind of completist are you?
I heard it was so bad, don't.
Well,
well,
Okay.
What's your next? Unless you
Oh.
want to keep going.
I apologize. That might be coming up then, apparently. My number 6 is Beverly Hills Cop 2.
Oh,
Wow.
that is a punt.
That's
Okay.
a punt?
Yes.
All right,
Okay.
there you go.
I went back and forth on that, but I'm like, no, that's a comedy.
That's a comedy.
It's action, but it's a comedy.
Yeah, there's
So,
it's got Eddie Murphy.
Yeah.
and it's at the end of his prime.
Yeah,
in
yeah,
essence,
yeah.
he's still giving you a solid Eddie Murphy.
I agree.
Anyway, we'll talk about it.
All right, so then my number 10 is the Pink Panther Strikes Again, which is my favorite Pink Panther. Peter Sellers' performance, the whole thing where Herbert Lom is trying to kill him, and he's gone insane, and he's in that castle, and he's creating this invisible ray that erases entire cities, which I think Austin Powers like based some of that off of, because that weapon that he had himself, or Dr. Evil has. So for me, it's just, and the stuff with Kato is hilarious, and just all of it is really funny, and the inventive ways that he puts on the different costumes or different outfits trying to find out what happened to Herbert Lom. And it's so sweet, because like he has no concept that this guy hates him. He has just no concept, Clouseau does, that his boss, his former boss, absolutely effing hates him.
Yeah.
He just wants to do right by him. And so to see him do the whole movie trying to find out what happened to him, then he has to confront the fact that his boss wants to kill him. They take the weird drugs. Anyway, it's just a hilariously fun film to me, and I think it's my favorite Pink Panther. It's one I go back to all the time. Okay, so my number 9 is Meet the Fockers.
Not
get
on my
the
list.
fuck out of here.
I love that movie.
Not on my list.
You like Meet the Fockers.
Didn't even
really
make
do.
consideration on my
Yeah.
list.
What?
That's not even
Yeah.
in my top 20.
Are you?
Not I don't know where it would rate.
Straight up.
Are you
Yeah.
kidding?
No, I'm dead serious.
Wow. Dustin Hoffman, Barbara Streisand, Robert De Niro.
No.
Do you want me to run off a list of movies with great actors? That
Yeah,
are dog
exactly.
shit?
That just don't succeed, because that's one of them.
No. Oh, dude. Okay, well, Matt, just a different sensibility, I guess.
Yeah.
I really love the family nature of that film and what they do to poor Ben Stiller through the whole thing, and then him dealing with the child, and then the whole thing with prison, with Dustin Hoffman and his connections, and De Niro getting all caught up. Like it took what could be a very boring, tired cliche from Meet the Parents, and it actually made it work. And you got to you understand why Ben Stiller is the way he is when you meet his parents.
Yeah.
You absolutely get it. And so for me, it just made me laugh on so many levels to see where the genesis of this kid and why he's so fucked up because of this overbearing, like way too open mother in Barbra Streisand. Plus, it was a role she's never played before, and she was really funny playing that
You
role.
remember, there's a whole storyline in there where De Niro suspects that the maid's son
Yes, is Ben Stiller.
is Stiller's
Yes.
love child with
Which
her.
I love.
And then he draws blood
Yes.
and has a fucking DNA lab in the bottom
Sure.
of his RV.
Sure.
Get the fuck out of here.
It works. It totally works.
Yeah.
You know what? Maybe I'm just bitter. I auditioned for the role of that son twice. And I was like,
But you don't
come
look
on,
Latino.
folks. Neither did that kid.
That kid was dark.
They darkened his skin.
Whoa.
For the record, Alana Ubach, the actress who played the
Yes.
maid, she's not exactly Latina
No.
either.
Well, she's younger than Stiller even.
Probably is, yeah.
I did voiceover with her at William Morris. I used to audition for things with her. I had such a thing for Ubach coming off of Bill. Was it Bill Nye? No. What was the science show that she was on when she was the assistant?
Oh, Mr. Wizard.
Mr. Wizard.
Wow.
She was the assistant for him, and I got developed a crush watching her because at that age I was watching.
Yeah.
So when she showed up at William Morris, I was just like, holy crapola. And I had just seen her in Meet the Fockers, so I got to talk to her a little bit about it. She's a sweet girl.
Oh,
Sweet
she's
girl.
the sweetest. Yeah.
Nicest lady. All right, so that was my number 9. My number 8 is Hot Shots Part 2.
Ooh, that's my number 6, so I cannot and will not punt.
Okay, see, that's
please.
where. Yeah, no thanks.
No, really?
No
The
thanks.
lightsaber fight doesn't
Oh,
make
I
you
love
laugh?
it.
No
I'm a
thanks.
fan.
Okay, so please,
I'm a
you
fan.
take this one.
So here's the problem. I realized compiling my list, this is a huge giveaway of my age and like where I came
Yeah,
of age.
it's fine.
Because a lot of my movies are like 90s, early to mid 90s, where historically people look back and like, oh, it's terrible. But I'm like, well, it was the right movie at the right time for me.
Yeah, that's how
I
it works.
laughed my ass off at Hot Shots Part 2.
Yes.
There's so many puns in that movie. There are so many great sight gags in that movie. Rowan Atkinson is a prisoner, and they go to rescue him, and he says, "I can't walk." Why not? They tied my shoelaces together. Those bastards. I mean, that's just so dumb that it's really funny.
Isn't he Galino's husband? Is
Yes,
that the whole
he's the
storyline?
captured husband.
Yeah,
of
the captured
Galena.
husband.
And
I haven't seen this movie since it came
Really?
out. Yeah,
The
this is
Saddam stuff
almost
is
all new
brilliant.
to me. I'm like,
Yeah.
oh yeah.
There's the whole sequence. There's that whole sequence with where he's in bed getting it on with, I don't know the actress who plays her, but like she's supposed to be the Kelly McGillis
Yes,
from Top Gun
yes,
character.
yes.
And this whole sex sequence.
So lesbian.
Yeah, it's such a crazy sex sequence where they spoof Basic Instinct, where it
Yes.
seems like she's reaching for a gun because the bed's squeaking, and she reaches under the thing and pulls out a little can of like WD-40 and gets the squeaky part of the bed.
Yeah, man, no, really. None of
so
this
funny.
is... Oh, that's such a shame. I love the Saddam stuff, too. The Saddam stuff was just brilliant.
I was out on Charlie Sheen, I think, at that point. Kind of in my life.
Brenda Baca is the actress's name.
That's
Wow.
all right.
Yeah. She played the Lana Turner in L.A. Confidential. Okay.
right, yeah.
Anyway, so yeah.
All right,
So
well,
there you go. That was your number 6.
Okay.
That was
My
your
number
8, right?
8. Yeah. So my number 7 is the other Austin Powers, Gold Member. Not in any lists. Oh,
No,
man.
I read for that one too. For the part of young Dr. Evil. And you know who got it is a good friend of mine,
love
Josh Zuckerman.
Oh, really?
Ulterior motives. These are motives that have never been expressed on this show before.
Wow. All right.
Listen, I didn't get that, so I've never had a
can't-
soft spot in my heart for that.
Can't
one.
have it in the top 10.
Yeah, I don't
do it.
blame you. If I was in that position, I'd be like,
I was close on that too.
you know
I
what,
read
that movie
for
could
Jay
have been a lot
Roach.
better.
There are days where I prefer this one over the first Austin Powers. Like I think so it didn't get great reviews, but I absolutely love
Everybody
this.
told me it was terrible.
Everyone, yeah,
Everybody is. So I
but
didn't see it. I've never seen it.
I love the stupidity of it all. The fact that he's playing 3 different different characters in this whole movie, and he's this Dutch guy, and he's obsessed with gold, which of course is a thing off Goldfinger, and everything. The whole thing with Michael Caine and Mike Myers through the whole movie is brilliant. The way he's trying to live up to his dad and all that shit, because his dad is the original super spy from like fucking Italian Job and all these other films that he was in. The one that Stallone redid, he was in that one.
Oh, Get Carter.
Get Carter, right. He was the original spy in those. So to have him come back and be completely berating Austin through the whole movie is genius.
He's his dad?
Yeah.
So how old is he in these movies? What does it put him, 70s?
Yeah, well, Kane is, yeah.
They de-age Kane for when he goes back in time.
Yeah,
Right,
which is
like,
great.
Okay, but then also, he would have been a spy in what, the 40s? If he was his dad?
Yeah, I guess.
He didn't have like a debonair,
maybe.
so,
I guess so.
you know, pre-World War II into World War II, he was a spy? He's this debonair of James Bondian? Okay.
But then you find out they're brothers, Dr. Evil and Austin Powers. You find out they're brothers, and that's what this whole thing's all about. And one survived the kid. Their mom died in a bombing, and the blame is all. It's so intense. And so when you have then you have sharks with lasers, and then what's his face? Jamie Kennedy, is it, or what's the other guy? Seth Green. Seth Green starts to become more like Dr. Evil to please his dad, which is of course what's happening with Austin Powers. So it's just a lot going on, and then you have him playing Goldmember, and all that Dutch accent of his, just shafasha. All of that is just super brilliant.
It's all very funny, but you can't beat from the first one. Who does number 2 work for? That's right, buddy. You tell that turd who's boss.
Great casting. Are you kidding me?
Tom Arnold?
Great casting.
There's no one else in Hollywood who could have done justice in that part.
Hey, how about a courtesy flush over there? Like, he's all nervous and twitchy in his stall. Like,
Sorry, buddy. We're going to get you through this.
Yeah. After a while, he just empathizes with, and then becomes pure sympathy. And he's like, I've been there. Fucking,
come on, man.
Do this.
Just grin and bear it. Just push through.
All right, so then, so we already said my number 6, which was Naked Gun 2.5.
What kills me, though, is I don't think they need the closing tag of what did you eat for Tom Arnold on that.
Really going to criticize that?
Yeah, when you see that, I don't think it needs to see.
Damn, son, what did you eat?
Exactly. That ruins that character on some level to me.
Did you like the Heather Graham one? Or was it Heather Graham?
Yeah, the Heather Graham one. I still like that one.
Tennis racket and all that was brilliant. That was brilliant stuff coming out. And I think Fat Bastard is a sumo wrestler in this one, in Goldmember. So, all right. Anyway, my number 6 we already said. So, Sam, take it away.
All right. My number 10, and again, this is definitely a sign of my age, is Gremlins 2.
Oh, the new batch.
The new batch.
Okay.
All right.
It's okay.
It is. Look, it's my number 10 for a reason. It's definitely the weakest of my top 10, but that movie used to make me fucking laugh.
Wow.
And I saw Gremlins 2 before I saw Gremlins 1.
Oh, wow.
Because I was 8 when Gremlins 2 came out.
Shit, I used to be afraid of Gremlins after seeing this.
And that was the problem. So I saw Gremlins 2, which I laughed my ass off watching with my brother who's 2 years old, and he was like, there's another one. I was like, oh, let's rent it. And we rented it, and I watched it, and it scared me to fucking death.
Yeah.
Spike is, or whatever his name is, the one with the mohawk.
Yeah.
Dude, that thing is terrifying. Terrifying.
Yeah.
Intellect in a gremlin's body.
Yeah.
Fuck off. That does not need to happen. Only needs to get to water. Oh, that only covers how much of the fucking earth to multiply. Unless it's got to be fresh water. Oh, that narrows it down to 15% of the world's landmass is covered in fresh water.
So,
great.
So that
fucked.
Yeah, but one of the reasons I wanted it on the list is to point out it's one of those crazy movies where the first one is way more like horror movie than it is comedy, and the second one is way more comedy than it is horror movie.
Yeah.
And I mean, it's the only movie that Leonard Maltin ever appeared in.
Yeah.
As himself, no less.
Okay.
But he did that as a favor to Joe Dante, and then afterward he was like, oh, well, now I've seen the movie, and I have to review it, and I don't really like it.
Oh, shit.
So what do? I'm in it. He asked me as a favor. I'm in this movie. And so when he did his review, he said, full disclosure, I'm in this movie. I'm not really a big fan of it. And then after that, he was like, clearly I can never again agree to be in a movie because I can't be impartial.
Right.
Like this.
Yeah,
it puts me in an unwinnable position. So I think it's awesome that he's in that movie. And, friend of the Schmodown, Leonard Maltin.
Yeah, he was. He's been on with his daughter. I remember the Hulk Hogan sequence. In
Gremlins
because I
2.
was a huge Hogan fan at the time, so to see that pop up, because I'm in my 20s when this thing came out, and I was like, oh shit. And
What's
so
interesting is the villain on that is kind of modeled after Trump. on some level.
Oh, John Glover's character.
Yeah,
Right.
somewhat.
Yes.
He's a different version of, but it's that.
Yeah.
Someone that's got tons of real estate in New York, has all this power. Because he was in the popular lexicon.
Right.
Yep.
So they would have been like, all right, we'll have these Trumpian aspects to him.
That's a great point, man.
It's so strange.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. He's the president now.
Don't
No.
lose an hour.
No. It's just like, it's so weird. It's like, oh my God.
I know.
That is such a strange occurrence within human
I'm not
existence.
100% sure. I think his name is Mr. Clamp in that.
Yep,
Oh,
it is clamp.
that makes
Because there's a
sense.
clamp around the world
Yeah.
as it's spinning.
So obviously that
This
is
pins
a spin on
That's good.
Trump, yeah.
We're squeezing every resource out of the world. That's literally what he's showing.
Yeah.
And we're all like, yeah, I put my money in that.
How ironic.
All right. My number 9.
Yeah, number 9.
Major League 2.
What? No.
Oh, no.
Get out. Sam, get out.
No.
Get the fuck. That
I'm
film
going to
is
tell you.
so
I'm going to
bad.
tell you
Listen,
why.
I'll give you maybe 3.
Yeah.
Return to spring training. 'cause
That is back
maybe
to the
3.
minors, if you don't mind.
Yeah.
Return
Or back to the
spring
minors.
training. You didn't get
Whatever.
a single word except
I
2.
apologize. Listen, I've been working 16 to 18 hours a day for weeks.
Nope.
For weeks.
Nope. No. Here's why, and it comes down to one sequence in the movie.
Okay.
It's where Roger Dorn has to intentionally get hit. Where at this point, Tom Berenger is the manager, and so he's like, "Hey, this guy pitches on the inside, right? Hey, Dorn, get in there." And then you hear Bob Uecker calling it, and it looks like the Indians are sending up Roger Dorn. Dorn is over the century against this guy, plus several foul tips. So he says, come on, Dorn, lean into one. And then Corbin Burnson goes into the thing, and you see the guy throw the pitch, and Dorn makes that horrible face, and he leans in, and you see him get beamed. Oh! And then he falls. All right, Dorn, take your base. And he goes over to first base, and now Behringer's trying to pull him for a pinch runner, and Dorn's like, no, I got hit, I'm running. I'm taking this back. And so Dorn is standing there, and he refuses to relinquish the base, and the pinch runner's there.
Yeah.
And he's like, Dorn, no. And Behringer's like, Dorn? No. And so then he sulks back and then he gets back there and everyone's, hey, good job, Dorn. And they all start hitting him in the arm where he took the shot. Hey, good for you, good for you, good for you. That made me laugh so friggin' hard. So I will forgive the rest of the movie, which, yes, is not that great.
I think it's
That's
yeah.
the undersell of the century. You see the first one, and that is a fucking masterpiece.
Damn masterpiece.
I get it.
And then you see this thing, and just like that masterpiece had a fucking abortion, and this is what we ended up with.
All right. Well, it's my number 9 because it's my number 9. Number 8.
I can't fault you because you see it in a certain range.
Yeah, I was the right age.
Yeah.
Number 8, Ghostbusters 2.
No.
I get
Really?
it, guys. It's 1989. I'm 7 years old.
Yeah.
So it's a different movie for me. And the thing that I love about that movie, the only reason I can include that movie on my list at all, is Peter McNichol,
He's great.
who is so great as
Is that
Janos.
the gallery director or whatever?
Yes.
Yeah. He is awesome. He's
Yes.
my favorite part, hands down, of the movie. And that tells me something about it.
Yes,
Yeah.
and I mean he steals every scene that he's in.
Yes.
He has this weird accent.
It's weird, just an undersell.
It's so weird. And at one point, there's a great sequence where Bill Murray asks him, "Yeah, speaking of which, my friend, where are you from?" The Upper West Side. I mean, come on. That's a very funny fucking line. And then later on, when he's like sitting in front of the talking Vigo painting,
Yes,
yeah.
and Vigo is telling him all the evil things they're going to do, and we will take the city with Scourge. And yes, Scourge and Horus, I know all of this, yes. That's so fucking funny.
When that ectoplasm, whatever, is just gushing over him, and he's just like, just so celebratory. Yeah, he's awesome in it.
He's so great. He
He's
makes
awesome.
that movie so much funnier than it deserves to be. But he's great in it. And there is this is David Krumholtz's favorite line from that movie. And we'll circle back to the Krumholtz Peter McNichol when we get down later. But so there's a scene after he's been possessed, and he goes to Sigourney Weaver's apartment.
Yeah.
In the middle of the night during the blackout. And he knocks on the door. And she says, "Yeah, hi, Janusz. What's going on?" He says, "Oh, is it the baby in here? I want to say hello." Woo! She goes, "Oh, no, he's sleeping." He says, "Oh, but I wooed." I wooed. Like the noise he just made, the woo. I didn't want to wake your baby. I wooed. And that line is so goofy. And I didn't realize how silly and goofy that line was until Krumholtz pointed it out to me. And it makes me laugh so hard every time now. And yeah, I don't know. It's just it hit me at the right time.
All right.
Hit me at the right time.
Yeah.
All right, number 7. This would not have been on my list had I not, out of sheer boredom, rewatched it a month ago on an airplane.
Interesting.
It was on the United list.
It's one of the
list
options,
movies. It
and
was
you just
one of the
went-
options. I was stuck. The flight was going to be delayed. We had an extra hour, and I was like, fine, I'll rewatch this. And I did not appreciate at the time, because my expectations were so goddamn high. I didn't appreciate just how actually funny this large portions of
Listen to
this
this
movie
build
are.
This is a great build.
Huge. I've never seen this.
Anchorman 2.
Oh.
No.
I get it. I'm the same way. Did you see it once?
No, I saw it twice.
You saw it twice?
I
I
did.
haven't seen it
And
once.
here's the
Okay.
deal. I have the opposite reaction. I liked it the first time, and then I saw it again the second time. I'm like, what is this lighthouse and shark and all
I agree.
this crazy
That's where it
bull-
goes off the rails.
What is this bullshit?
It goes off the rails.
Yeah.
But the first act of that movie,
Yeah.
when he gets the band back together, and he goes to get Champ Kind, who is now running
yeah.
a fried chicken restaurant, where Champ, is this a bat? It is a bat. You've been frying bats? Yes. You have no idea how expensive actual chicken is. And bat is cheaper? So much. That's fucking hysterical. And then they're in that RV. And
Right.
that sequence in the RV where nobody's driving
Yeah.
after they've pointed out all of the horribly dangerous things that are just randomly laying around the RV. Scorpions, a bowling ball. And then, of course, the RV is going to go
Right.
over. That I didn't appreciate it the first time.
Yeah.
It's so stupid, but it's so funny because they commit to it 100%.
Yeah.
And
Well,
it really, really made me laugh the second time around.
For me, the dinner scene is still funny to me with the black family
Yeah.
and all he tries to do with the. Oh my god, that kind of stuff.
That is also very funny.
Very
Yeah.
funny stuff.
I just think my expectations were so high.
Yeah.
And then I
As
saw
were
it,
mine.
I'm like,
Yeah.
And so the first time I really was let down. I was like,
maybe I
oh,
need more
man.
time, because I'm just like, no, guys, I saw that as a corpse. I don't know that you said that corpse came back to life. Like, how do I reanimate a corpse? I don't think so. That thing was dead on arrival.
Speaking of which, that's what scares me. That's going to show up on Sam's list somewhere. Weekend at Bernie's too. I'm a little scared about some of those choices he's had so far.
Wow.
Bitch,
I'm very confident about my top 5, and my number 6 was Hot Shots Part 2. So I'm
okay.
through.
All right.
That's it.
Matt Knost.
My number 5, 22 Jump Street.
Ooh, that's a punt.
That's a punt?
Yes.
Wow.
Nothing for you?
What?
I'm the wrong age, guys.
Oh my! Did you see this?
I did.
What? We were
I did.
adults. It all came out in our adult age.
Maybe I need to be older. I don't know. I don't know. It's not in my top 10.
Okay.
Really?
Well,
Not
we'll
in my
talk
top
about
10.
it when we get to it at your
Okay.
punts.
Okay. Sounds good.
My number 4, okay, I don't know if anybody, I have this Jackass 3.
No.
That's so crazy. I almost had Jackass number 2 in there.
Wow.
Yeah.
You want
It
to
was
talk about
Jackass number 2 or Major League 2 for me.
Oh Jesus.
3? That it had been years since I had laughed that hard in the theater. So much so that, like, literally, I was looking over and I saw a dude. He was laughing. He happened to look at me like just at certain points. I couldn't breathe for laughing. You couldn't hear what was going on the screen because the amount of laughter in the crowd was drowning. I was like, this is a fucking revelation.
I got to tell you, I saw all 3 of those movies in theaters, and they were all that way.
Yeah.
I've never seen a crowd react like that to a movie like what we were watching. And they are, I mean, yes, they are infantile, they are immature.
Yes.
But if you are okay with that, you are not going to have a bad time at any of the Jackass
No.
movies,
Yeah.
especially 2 and 3.
If they bring it back now, it would be sad. It's like,
They
now you're an
can't do
old
it.
man
They
now
can't do
doing
it.
this. Yeah, they're not going to do it. But they were still right at that age
like
where just
Triple
like
X. Yeah.
you're still the dumb bravado of early 30s. Like, I'm still in my 20s kind of shit.
I have not rewatched any of those in a while, so obviously I should. But remind me what any of the big set pieces were.
That was the one with, I think, the big hand.
The hand is great.
Oh, yeah.
slaps.
Oh God.
Dude, I can't remember who it is. I think it's
hand
Bam.
is-
Bam.
And he's
Yeah.
walking
It
through. Literally
knocked
gets
him the fuck
off his feet. He did not see that coming. Like, that was the problem. Like, the second one, there seemed like there was more staged. That fucking hand, when he hit him, you can watch his feet. Watch his feet. Oh my God, dude.
I go back and watch it on YouTube every once in a while. That clip, the hand clip, is the best part. It's so.
And that
brilliant.
was like in the first 10
brilliant.
minutes. And I'm like, you fucking kidding me with this?
Wait, isn't the third one also where Knoxville gets the doorbell on his home? Or is that, I don't know if
I
that's
can't
two or
remember if
three.
that's a 3. I think
I
3
don't
also
remember.
has the bungee shitter.
Oh yeah.
3 also had the dildo where they're firing dildos at each other.
Right? And
That
he lost
was
a
great.
tooth. Aaron lost a tooth.
Yeah, exactly. The flying dildos. I was like, it's just this little penis missile flying and hitting people.
Yeah.
So good, so good. So much so that what do they have? Like 3.5 after that, all the outtake stuff.
Yeah.
I've seen
Oh, yeah.
that. Yeah,
And then
Oh,
Grandpa,
man.
bad Grandpa.
Yeah, I wish they had made somehow. It just now, by the third one, too, they've been through the ringers enough times and all the unaired stuff. You could see the hesitant nature going, I've done something similar to this before. And that hurt. I don't want to do that. And they all have to take a turn at some point. What's your biggest phobia? We'll tie it around that.
Yeah.
Oh, man, these movies, they just kill me every time. But I've seen that thing like every couple of years. They're like, oh, yeah, Jackass 3, I can watch that again. Because it's still anew. You find little things going back, and you're like, man. Oh, fucking
All
movie.
right, I will sign off on that easily.
That was your number
That
3?
was my 4.
Oh, 4.
So my number 3 then is Army of Darkness.
Wait, wasn't that supposed to be your number 5?
No,
Oh, no,
no.
you said 22
5 was
jumps, 22
22
punted
jumps.
it.
Right.
Sorry.
Yeah. Yep.
Okay. I
My
got
3
confused.
is Army of Darkness.
There you go. There's another great example of the first one is a horror.
Oh, yeah.
With a little bit of comedy.
It
And
goes
then-
full
and
comedy.
then goes full comedy.
Full
from that point
comedy.
on.
I figured it wasn't going to make your list.
No.
I was holding out hope. Maybe we'd have comedy.
It's not on my list, but
I love this movie.
but I will agree with you. It probably should have been on my list.
Just give me some
Army of
sugar,
Darkness
baby.
is- yeah.
What? Why is he saying this is so great? Like his bravado. You've been teleported through time, and now you're in a medieval country. You have a shotgun, fucking chainsaw fused to your other arm. This is my
Embeth Davis.
boomstick.
So sexy, Embeth Davis.
Oh yeah.
yeah.
Oh yeah. Without a doubt. And just the shenanigans from point A to point B throughout the movie. I love that movie. I own it.
Yep.
I watch it every once and again.
I can't. I shouldn't admit that. I used to rent Embeth David's movies because I had a thing for her.
Who didn't?
And then when she showed up in Schindler's List, I was like, "Oh, I shouldn't feel
boy.
this way about you while I'm watching this movie.
Oh,
But you're
boy.
so cute. Oh, I can't stand it." Yeah, she was cute. No, the reason, and I've said this before on the show, the reason I don't have Army of Darkness in my, or I don't love it as much, because I love the first two. The first two have such insane fucking horror sequences that you just went full comedy. You just leaned full into comedy. The third
Yeah.
one, I felt it was a dupe for me who was loving it the way it was originally.
Sure.
So I couldn't go along with the swerve. And I know people love the film. I respect people love the film. In fact, Ash vs. Evil Dead that's the reason that show exists, is because the third film is so revered by so many people. But I just don't get there with it for whatever reason.
Yeah.
Just the comedy and the juxtaposition of this is a guy that was a store clerk and then suddenly he just has all the machismo in the world to go into these situations.
Yeah.
And him forgetting the whatever the saying is to break the curse of the book
Right,
as he
right,
picks
right.
it
I
up.
forgot
And he tries to fudge over the end. Just kind of looks around. Just like, yeah, I got away with that because he's been bullshitting his entire time. And he's just like, I'm going to bullshit some more. And it bites him in the ass.
Yeah.
Yeah, to me, that's what makes that thing live on now. I could see more of those.
Right.
Whereas Evil Dead's like 1, 2, that's fine. I don't think that continues on for me.
Right.
Whereas the comedy aspect, you can make several of these as far as I'm concerned.
They knew what they were doing, yeah.
Yeah.
All right, that was your number 3.
Yep.
All right, so then my number 5 is National Lampoon's Christmas Vacation.
That's called a punt. That is called a fucking punt. How dare you is what that's
Come
called.
on.
listen.
That's your number
Dare you.
5?
Yeah.
Number 5, yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, I understand.
Trust me, I don't get that at all. Anyway, go ahead. Let's see the rest of this list. What do you got it for? What are you going to insult me with next?
Adam's Family Values is
That's
my
my
Okay.
number 4.
Boom! Come on.
Oh, I've got it on my list at 9. No,
you just haven't seen it in a while.
The thing that sticks out most to me is the little mustache on the baby. That kills me.
What's the baby's name?
Pruggle.
No, remember, it's something a child could live with.
Oh God, I don't remember.
Pubert.
I knew it was a P. Yep. Hey, I knew it was a P. How about that? Pruggle
Yeah.
is what I came up with.
Yeah.
Pubert.
That is one of my absolute favorite movies, especially sequels, for this back and forth dialogue after they bring the baby home.
Yeah.
He has my father's eyes. Go, miss. Take those out of his mouth. Come the fuck on. That's fucking hysterical.
Yeah.
No matter what age you are,
Yeah.
no matter when you see that movie, period. It is a great, funny movie. And Peter McNichol,
Yes.
that's where he met and worked with David Krumholtz.
Oh, yeah.
At the sleepaway camp.
That's right.
Yeah, Krumholtz
Okay.
is the other kid who doesn't fit in. And yeah, that movie is awesome. They've been showing it on cable a bunch lately, so I've been rewatching it. And there are some funny moments there.
Well, and also Joan Cusack is. People forget how great Joan Cusack was, whatever you want to say.
Yeah.
She is so good in so many movies, and like from broadcast news all the way to now. You see her when she pops up. You just enjoy her performances every single time.
Always.
In and Out, she's hilarious in and out when she has the meltdown about the whole thing, and and of course in Grosse Pointe Blank, yeah, she's great as his sister, and you've seen her play all those different parts, and her sister is good too.
Anne
Cusack, who was in League of Their Own. She was in A League of Their Own. She's the girl that couldn't read.
Yep.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
I watched an Oscars party one time sitting next to her through my friend Evie Peck, and we just sat and watched a thing, and she was just really sweet, really cool. But yeah, the Cusack, I mean, just all and seeing her play a villain. I'd never seen her play a villain. I was like, oh, this is so
And
wrong.
a Black Widow type of woman that you would go and just take the
With
fortune.
poor Fester.
She would do it again in Mr. Wrong.
Oh, the
With Ellen DeGeneres, Bill Pullman. She's the villain in that.
Oh, wow.
I never saw that. Is that any good?
No, you're okay.
Okay. That's what I thought.
There's a reason she has a talk show. But no, this is what this film just has so many great, because the first one was so fun.
Oh,
if you had seen the series, right? You got all the jokes. They were able to do a lot of the jokes from the series, that they were able to like get that rhythm of the family and everything like that. But then they'd come up with their inventive jokes about what was happening.
But I
around.
think that was more like the TV series and the what was it, a comic strip before that?
Yes. Yeah.
I think they got more back to that in the second.
Yes.
It bled more elements of that, so it seemed, I don't know, I like that. I think I prefer that one to the first one, to be honest.
Yeah, because the first one he's like lost, right? Fester's lost.
The first one,
He doesn't know he's the brother.
Well, yeah, because they think they're scamming him. He doesn't realize he's the brother. Yeah,
Right.
Yeah.
So, but I mean, that's kind of the thing with comedy, and this is much more true in TV than it is film.
Yeah.
But a general rule of thumb is, if you look at the first season of a comedy series, the pilot will be their weakest episode. And they will get stronger as they get towards the end of the season, because the idea of comedy is the better you know your characters, the more you know who these people are, how they react to things, what their situation is, it allows you to build funnier scenarios for them.
Yeah, it makes it complex.
With a drama, the example I always like to give is shot opens on an elevator, 3 people get in, the doors won't open, it suddenly starts filling with water. You are immediately like, fuck, what's going to happen? You don't need to know a goddamn thing about anyone in that elevator.
Right.
But if you're trying to create a comedy, you have to know these people.
You have to
it's
live
going to be
with them.
funny.
Well, because the best comedy is from nuance, right? The best comedy is from knowing each other. So when you know exactly, you have this interact that goes deeper because you know the characters.
Yeah.
Well, so you know exactly how to use them.
But
in
I think
scenarios.
it's more so within television comedy. It's from the writer's perspective, because they need to figure out where those jokes are,
Right.
Yeah.
and who these people are. What if they went this way?
Right.
You get notes from the actors and whatnot, and obviously they have a vision for that. But
Yeah.
you have to figure out, okay, when they interact, we can get some good comedy out of this because there's natural friction there.
Yeah,
You
and
gotta
so
develop
once they had firmly established all of the the new Addams family was in the first one, it allowed them to jump in full speed for the second one.
The first movie's an origin story.
Yeah.
As far as like educating an audience as to who these people are.
Right. Yeah.
And those are rarely amazing. You know what I mean? They're usually good if it has a follow-ups thereafter.
Yeah.
But
And my TV dad Sam McMurray is in the second one.
Oh, David Krumholtz had an interesting interaction with that guy. Well, not really the interaction. I spent a whole day at a Voda spa with David Krumholtz without him knowing that I was there.
Wow.
I watched him from afar. Numbers. He was in Numbers.
That's what I was about to say. Is he the guy in Numbers?
Yeah, he's the guy in Numbers.
I didn't even realize he's my TV brother.
Oh.
He's in Addams Family. So my TV brother and father are
There you
in
go.
Addams Family Values.
There you go.
There you go.
All right, so
Slums of Beverly Hills, by the way, is Krumholtz, I think, one of his finest.
Okay.
Oh, yeah.
Slums of Beverly Hills. He's
With,
the brother to Natasha Lyonne.
I've heard of it and never
Natasha
seen
Lyonne.
Yeah.
I remember that. He's an interesting cat, and he works all the time.
Never stops working.
No, I was shocked when he shot up in The Deuce. I was like, holy shit, here he is in The Deuce.
Yeah.
Just a great, great actor.
I loved his casting in, what was it, Serenity? Out of nowhere, boom, he's the guy that has like a... What is he? He's kind of like his own floating little world. Kind of not really a world, but he has like own little station they have to stop in.
Right.
He's transferring information to them, and like eventually the whatever government comes and they kill him. The assassin that shows up, Chiwetel Ejiofor, I think kills him.
Yeah.
Pretty sure that's him in it.
So maybe.
I don't know.
But it's just he goes from good comedy to that type of little more
he's versatile.
action-y to
Yeah. All right, so my number 3 then is Monsters University.
Okay.
Ooh, listen to the silence in the crowd.
No, I mean,
God, well.
I like the movie.
Rocha, I know you know me well enough to know an animated feature wouldn't be in my top 30.
That's true.
Well, look,
I know you know that about me.
just because you're undervaluing a very beautiful
No. I don't undervalue them.
Sam and I are weak on the animation category. That's
I
for
don't
damn sure.
undervalue them.
I appreciate
It's-
the living shit out of it.
You do.
Do you? This is a weird question. Do you like hip hop? Like rap?
Sure.
Okay, I don't.
It depends,
But
but-
I'm not an old person. How can you listen to that noise? I'm like, I get it. I get this is an art form that you can be very creative in, and a lot of people are.
Yeah.
It just has no appeal to me. So I'm not saying, oh, animated movies suck. I'm like, no, I get the appeal. I see why people love these movies.
Yeah.
It's just not for me.
Well, I'm saying like over the entire spectrum. What about stop motion?
Ooh.
That to me is my favorite because of the amount of time they have to lock a script in and they're working on that dedicated. And when you come up with something with charm and actual jokes and humor, that slays me because the amount of care that went into this is actually visible on screen.
Yeah.
Let me say it this way. There's very few animated movies that I've ever watched that I have strongly disliked. But the amount that I have ever watched that I said, oh my God, I love this, I can count on one hand maybe.
That's
the problem
I need
for me.
a couple different hands because I was blown away by this because you can just reach certain emotional pivotal moments within animation that is impossible to do because of the scenes or the characters or whatnot within a regular drama. And I appreciate that.
Yeah.
I'm a fan.
Yeah, like
I'm a fan.
South Park, Bigger, Longer, Uncut, I enjoyed. It happens to be animated, but that's not for children.
Yeah.
That's one of the reasons why I
true.
like it so much. But I don't want to talk about that. I want to talk about Monsters University.
Well, listen, I just love the fact. Look, I know some people are on the fence one way or the other about Monsters, or opposite sides of the fence. But for me, it's a film that works for me all the time.
It's good.
so sweet. It's good. Yeah, it's good. You get the genesis of that relationship, their interactions at college, and how they help each other and how they grew and how they learn, and all the characters are great. You see how the villain came to be the villain, why it went the way it went, and all of that is really inventive. And I think it's Helen Mirren who's the dean, or Glenn Close is the dean, like who's ever the dean with the flying.
I know he's ever the dragon-y type.
I think it's Helen Mirren.
Legs.
Yeah, I think it's Helen Mirren.
Can't place the voice. It's menacing, but without having to be. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's like seductively evil.
Yeah, it sounds like Helen Mirren, Morgana.
Yeah.
So to see and all of that, I just really enjoy it, and I laugh all through it. Like I laugh all through it in the situational humor that they get into, and it's very sweet. And so for me, I keep it up there, always at the top. So that's my number 3.
No, it's got good jokes in it.
Yeah.
Good action sequences. The frat games. There's tons
God,
of
the
fun
frat games
within those
is
scenes.
brilliant.
Yeah. And how the characters grow within that. Yeah, I like that movie.
All right, what's your number 2, my friend?
Sorry,
Sam.
I got to get
Sam.
5, 4, and 3 out.
Sorry, Sam.
All right, so my number 5 is similar to one of your earlies, which is A Shot in the Dark. The sequel to the first sequel to the Pink Panther.
Right.
When I was a kid, and we used to go to the video store all the time, my father would usually take me and my brother, and my father is a big lover of movies. So when we were kids, we were like, well, what's the funniest movie you've ever seen? We want to watch it. And so he said, the funniest movie I've ever seen is A Shot in the Dark.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
And so we were like, okay. He's like, but you shouldn't watch that without knowing who the character is and everything. So first we watched The Pink Panther, and my brother and I were underwhelmed.
Yes, just for lack of a better word.
To say the least. And I was like, okay.
Yeah,
and then I just remember it being like an unusual amount of time before we eventually got around to seeing A Shot in the Dark.
Right.
Like it was years later. Because I think my brother and I were so turned off by the Pink Panther, we were like, no, you're wrong. You're an old man. You don't know what you're doing.
This is leading to the funniest movie my dad thinks, and my dad is God to me.
Yeah.
So, okay, this one's still going to be good, and you see it and you're like, this is not what I wanted as an 8-year-old.
You don't know anything about comedy.
It doesn't deliver.
But then when I finally saw A Shot in the Dark with my brother and father, we laughed so hard, my body hurt. I mean, there is so many pratfalls, so many slapstick moments in that movie, so many smart moments in that movie, turns of phrase, all of the stuff with Herbert Lom hurting himself.
Yeah.
He cuts off his thumb. He stabs himself. It's increasing, and again, he hates Clouseau.
Yeah, he hates Clouseau so
Clouseau
much.
has no idea.
Yeah, no clue.
It's so funny. And then the whole stuff at the nudist colony.
Yeah, oh my God.
Oh, that whole sequence at the colony, from the minute he gets there, it's so funny. They did great camera tricks.
Yep.
His reactions are wonderful. They were pushing the edge of lewd comedy for the day. It's 1964.
Yeah.
So that movie really, really, really made me laugh. I have not rewatched it in a good number of years, so I'm really just going off of the memories from when I was a kid. Honestly, the last time I watched it, I was probably 13 or 14 years old. So,
but it stays with you.
It absolutely stayed with me. So that for me is my number 5.
Okay.
Number 4, as I mentioned before, is Addams Family Values.
Okay.
So we've already covered that. But my number 3, Bill and Ted's Bogus Journey.
Oh, you snuck it in there.
I snuck it in there.
Oh,
no. And
I tried to talk myself into this.
That's okay.
I really did.
Look, it's not for everyone, but here's what I feel. People have asked me over the years, oh, is that a good movie? I'm like, did you like the first one? If you did, you're guaranteed to like the second one.
Right.
Because it really is a continuation.
Yeah.
Like, they did not change who these characters were.
No. Right.
They didn't, it's a brand new thing. They didn't try to recreate the first movie. Like, it's really just if the first movie kept going.
Yeah.
Is how I feel about Bill and Ted's Bogus Journey. And the addition of William Sadler as Death.
Yeah, he is awesome in it. He is awesome.
He is so great in that movie.
I agree.
And every scene he's in, it's so perfect. They Melvined me, and he's playing Death, and you must beat me. No one has ever beaten me. And then, they pick the dumbest games to play against him.
Yeah, but they're good at it.
Twister, Twister, and that horrible magnetized football game from the 70s. And they win that one.
I just love how competitive the devil is.
Right.
Like, he doesn't want to.
He doesn't want to lose,
exactly.
right?
We're going to do this again.
I know. It was Colonel Mustard in the study with the candlestick. No way, dude. It was Professor Plum. Best 2 out of 3. Come on. Best 3 of 5. Damn right. He's so fucking great as Death. And they go to heaven.
They do.
And he has, as Death, one of my all-time favorite lines in any movie. So now they're back in the real world, and they're walking around, the hardware store as they're buying shit. And there is a guy in the aisle smoking a cigarette. And as Death is walking by him with the robe and the sickle, he just turns to the guy, puts a hand on his shoulder, and goes, "See you real soon." Which, if you're a non-smoker like me, this was 92, so
we all knew.
Or 91, I guess it's the height of the anti-smoking.
Right.
I was like, that is so fucking perfect. Where else are you going to set up a scenario where Death, a comedic version of Death, just walks by a guy smoking a cigarette where you're going to get that? So that movie to me is so funny, and
the best comedies are decorated by great throwaway lines.
Yeah.
And that's a moment, too. Like, for me, Dumb and Dumber, the moment when Jim Carrey gives the stuff to the old lady, goes, "Don't you go dying on me now."
Yeah, exactly.
Fuck me every single time. I snap in half.
She shoots him that look.
Yeah. She was willing to help, and then that line happens.
And I'm not
just the best.
I'm not 100%, but because I feel like I've seen that movie at least 50 times, I feel like that line is shouted at her from off camera.
Yeah.
I don't even think he's on camera
he's
when
not.
he says
He's
it,
not.
which almost certainly means they added that line in post.
Oh, yeah. So who knows what he said?
Who knows what the original line was?
Yeah, that's true.
But I was like, man, when you can do that, when you can improve a movie in post with an 80-yard line, with a looped line, you are in the zone.
Shit, I think the ending was spitballed like on set or something. They're like, why don't we just go for, because it ended with them originally, I think, getting on the bus and living that dream.
Yeah.
I think it was Jim Carrey who was like, that doesn't make sense for the characters.
Right.
They're losers. But they're like they're the ones that get them into their losery situations. And it's just like, no, but if you go 3 miles down that road, that movie slays me every time. When he pulls up on the motorcycle, the little mini motorcycle, and he's like, whatever. I get 70 miles to the gallon on this hog. And he fluffs his fucking goddamn gloves. Oh, dude, that movie gets me 6 ways to Sunday.
The obliviousness of when he's being hit on in the bar. It's just everything. Oh, my God, by that poor black woman. Just the obliviousness. The obliviousness.
That's I say this to my brother all the time. She says, and then do you want to know what that klutz did next? No. And I don't care.
Oh, dude.
Bartender.
Well, he's walking out. No, the fucking... He sees the moon, and we've landed on the moon. He's walking. He's just so excited. His mind has literally been blown.
I guess what we're saying is so, all right, in this universe, let's count Dumb and Dumber When Harry Met Lloyd as the first one, since that's a prequel. True. So we'll allow Dumb and Dumber to be counted as a sequel. So there you go. Now it's got to be number one on everyone's list.
I
cheated. I figured out how to buck the system on this one.
That's an all-time favorite comedy.
Cheated the system.
When he sees fucking Lloyd, or not Lloyd, but Harry with the girl he wants, whatever, Merry Christmas.
Yeah.
And he starts doing that fake throw up. I do that now when something happens. I'm literally just mimicking Jim Carrey from that movie. He just turns. It's the slow roll. It's 2 shorts and then like a long one where you can see the water welling in his eyes, like he's actually going to throw up. That dude's commitment to a joke is beyond.
I miss that motherfucker. I miss that motherfucker doing comedies.
Yeah.
I fucking loved him. Yeah. All right, so that was your up 5, 4, and 3. So Matt, let's go to you. Right?
That's the beauty of it. So then my number 2 is for that same reason, Ace Ventura 2.
Oh, what? You doing When Nature Calls?
I can't do it.
Oh, you can't. I love everything Jim Carrey in that era. That whole entire. I fucking love it. Oh, you chitty chitty bang bang chitty chitty. He's bouncing. I love it. He's bouncing around. And it's a perfectly smooth ride. I don't care what they did with the goddamn character. I just wanted to keep seeing more and more and more of that. They show up and he's at that Buddhist temple or whatever, and they're just trying, you just reached enlightenment, you can leave. And as he's walking out, people are running around naked. They're just so excited that he's gone. They don't know how to express their emotions. That's the start of the movie. I fucking love that movie.
I have not rewatched that one in a while. I remember seeing it in theaters. I remember, I chuckled here and there, but it just didn't stay with me like the first one did after only one viewing. Like Ace Ventura, the original. I saw that in theaters. I could quote lines from it after seeing it once. Yeah. Nothing stayed with me from Ace Ventura 2.
I think 2, because it couldn't be all that anymore. They still try to bring it back, and it feels really forced when they go for a bunch of those jokes.
It does.
But there are other ones where the character grew up when he's doing the shadow puppets. And he starts biting it, just the stupidity of that, or... At one point, basically the jig is up, and both sides now know that they whatever. He's like Greenwald, or whatever the guy's name is, the English actor. Yeah. Remember? And he's like, hit the lights, and he's like dancing around the room to try and ninja moves. Yeah. What about those lights, guy? I love that fucking movie.
Well, the spear thing, the double spear thing, is funny. I love that moment.
Comparing the pain. I don't know which is worse.
Yeah, but he's in a robotic rhinoceros, and he has to come out as rectum.
Right. Which apparently didn't turn off Sacha Baron Cohen because he put it in that Brothers Grimsby movie.
Him and Mark I don't know. That movie is not great, the Brothers Grimsby, but there are some moments in that movie that are genuinely hilarious.
And God love Mark Strong for being willing to do it.
That's a guy who's like, nobody knows me as a comedic actor. I'll be the straight man, but I want to do it.
Yep.
Yeah.
I expand. All right, so that's your number 2?
That's my 2. What's yours?
Oh, mine is 22 Jump Street, which was...
Okay.
Yeah. This is a film I go back to numerous times. I just love the whole opening when he's like playing the Spanish Wolverine guy, and he's doing his name is Jeff. Like, all of that is hilarious to me. Then you bring in the actress from who's it?
From
Workaholics.
Workaholics.
Yeah, the blonde from Workaholics.
They have to play the villain.
And she is commenting on the premise of the movie when she's saying like
exactly
Jillian something.
Yeah, when she's talking about how old they are. It's like, you're not in college. You got wrinkles. Look at you, like you're 40 years old. Like the whole thing. And then she's like claiming he's assaulting her when he's trying to reject her. All that kind of stuff. Just brilliantly funny.
The first 10 is what sold it for me, because I remember watching in the theaters and I was going, wow, are you fucking kidding me? They're going to do this with this movie?
Yeah.
And then it ends up being a joke of that's what could have happened.
Yes.
Say this was 1996 or something. That's
Right.
what you would have gotten. This ridiculous fucking premise, and they're lampooning that within the genre of this movie, and then progressing the storyline further where. Now it's 22 Jump Street because it's across the street.
Yeah,
like
I mean-
they still have little nods to we realize the farce that is this movie, and yet still succeeds ultimately by the end is so impressive to me.
I agree. He's dating Ice Cube's daughter.
Yeah.
But I'll tell you what, and I don't want to say it's not a funny movie. There's lots of laughs in it. What turns me off is something that's been happening in a lot of comedies over the last 10 years now. And that is, at least for me, maybe it's because I'm too close to it, I know I'm watching a scene that the actors were riffing on.
Oh,
Yeah.
you can tell when they're
I
improv.
can tell this was not in the script. And the actor delivers the line, and I can see the smugness behind their eyes. They're so happy they just came up with something so funny when the cameras were rolling. I'm like, I'm sure it felt great in the day and on the moment, and all the crew was laughing, but the writer should have written something really funny.
All right.
Or writers. And I don't mind improvisation in a movie. I just felt like that movie is like 35% the actors riffing.
Wow, you think is that high?
I really do. Most of the scenes with Gillian and Jonah Hill seem
maybe.
like they were riffing.
Huh. All right.
Well, I mean, I'll have to take your word for it. I've only acted with Scorsese. You know what I mean? When he came, he met me. We met at Denny's. It was crazy. It was like 3 in the morning.
Yeah, Scorsese, big Denny's guy.
Well,
big Denny's guy.
It's like Bob Hope used to have a table at the Big Boy or whatever it is. Yeah. Just it was one of those things. Just happened to see him.
I'll take a Rudy Tooty Fresh and Trudy. A Rudy Tooty Fresh and Fruity. I'll take a Rudy Tooty Fresh and Fruity. Whatever you say, Marty. Whatever you say. So that was okay. So what's your number 2?
What's your number 2?
My number 2 is Wayne's World 2.
Nah, can't.
That's all right, guys. Again,
I wanted to love this.
This is
movie.
it's a thing about it's an age thing.
Yeah.
Came out in '93. I'm 11 years old.
Yeah. Is this the Morrison one? Is Morrison the scene?
That's like the opening with the naked Indian guy and
Yeah, where they were
with
riffing
Jim
on Oliver
Morrison
Stone's
and
doors.
Tommy
Yeah.
Davidson, Tommy Davidson. No,
No,
it's Tim Meadows.
Tim
who
Meadows,
plays
right.
Sammy Davis.
Right.
In that extra scene. It's where he puts on Wayne Stock.
Yeah.
The festival.
They tell him he's got to put on a huge festival.
For me, look, it's not as funny as the first one. The first one's legendarily funny.
Sure.
But the second one has some sequences in there that save this movie as a sequel. Chief among them, the sequence where James Hong has to challenges him. I will fight you for my daughter.
That's right.
And they're speaking in perfect Chinese. And then Wayne says, I will fight you on one suggestion, that we be dubbed instead of using subtitles. Very well. I know all of the moves. And then it's an amazing sequence where it's straight out of like a 70s kung fu movie where they're doing the bad, talking
lip dub.
and the horrible dubbing. And it's the goofiest sequence, and it goes on forever. And Tia Carrere is great in it. Wayne, aye! It's so funny, and he's great in it, and James Hong is great in it.
I think I'd appreciate that more now.
Yeah?
That type of scene where they're sending up something I've seen a decent amount of.
Yeah.
Where maybe at the age I saw it, I just wasn't as educated. I knew the joke they were making, but it didn't resonate as much.
And then there's so many parodies in it too. So then there's the scene at the end where they're parodying all of The Graduate.
Yeah.
When he's chasing after, he's driving up to get to the chapel to stop it, and he stops at the gas station, and that sequence is amazing because he stops at the gas station. He says, "Well, where's the Methodist church or whatever?" And the guy says, "Oh, that's up on Gordon Street. Gordon Street, man, where is it?" Gordon Street. I once knew a girl who lived on Gordon Street, but that was a long time ago. I'm sorry. Look, I know this is a small part and everything, but can't we get a better actor for this role? I mean, really. And then literally the director of the movie comes in and pulls out the actor and then puts in Charlton Heston. Who gives the great fucking Gordon Street, right? And he's so fucking funny. And then he gives this great little monologue, and it cuts back to Mike Myers. He's got a tear in his eye. Thank you. And then runs off. And then he runs over and he's banging on the
Maybe I need to see it again.
Cassandra!
Maybe I need to see it again.
It's the shot right out of everyone in The Graduate. He goes, son of a bitch. And they get the close-ups of everyone's mouth. And the fucking priest They have him saying, "Son of a bitch." Come on. Luckily, somehow I had seen The Graduate before I saw Wayne's World 2.
Oh, good.
So I got all the
otherwise.
references.
Right.
Like,
Yeah.
it's so funny.
I need
Chris
to see it.
Walken in that
All right.
movie is so funny.
Maybe.
Walken is hilarious.
And the what's his name? I don't know the actor's name, but Dell, who plays the tour manager, the greatest roadie of all time, who's going to, and he keeps doing that, and that's, and I'll have to tell you the story about how one time me and Ozzy were at a candy shop, and Ozzy wouldn't come out until we had a brandy full of green M&Ms. Now, the shopkeeper and his son was a different story altogether. I had to beat them to death with their own shoes. I mean, come on.
That's good stuff.
There are really, really genuinely funny scenes in that movie, and for me, 11 years old, that is in my comedy sequels of all-time greatness. So
No, you're right.
Yeah.
That guy always plays a villain too, Ralph Brown.
Okay,
I
yeah,
know
Ralph
him.
Brown.
Yeah, he was in Alien 3. He was one of the
Oh, yeah.
he was one of the guys in Alien 3.
Okay.
He was like, yeah.
Okay.
All right. So that's your number 2?
That's my number 2.
All right.
So I think we have the same number 1, and it's a punt from him.
guess
Really.
so.
Yep.
Yeah, which should be your number
It
1.
should be your number 1. Shame on you,
Should be
Rocha.
your number
Sorry, I
1.
didn't grow up in a white household. Sorry, guys.
It
So
doesn't
my
matter.
Number 1.
This is a Christmas movie.
Yeah.
A Christmas movie.
Those transcend race.
They do. If there was a good Hanukkah movie, I would watch it. I don't care. It's like a it's a holiday themed movie.
Yep.
I like holiday themed movies.
Yep. Okay.
This is one of the best comedies of all time.
Of all time.
Of all
So
time.
we're talking about this first. Okay, go ahead. Yeah.
I find they
This was
They knew
this
the-
was my number 5. It wasn't like I put it down
knew
10.
should be number 1.
Okay.
They knew the character so well. When Chevy Chase as Clark decides, you know what? He tells what's his wife's name? Beverly D'Angelo's. Was it?
Beverly D'Angelo.
Yeah, but I'm saying
Ellen.
There you go.
Yeah.
Me and Ellen, we decided we're gonna help you kind of with Christmas, and he waves him off twice. Clark, I can't let you do that.
Yeah.
You know, he's still walking, shoulders popping a little bit here and there. He's a twitchy dude, and then finally the third time he's like, all right, and he just pulls out this scroll list. This is beyond just a normal legal letter, and be like, all right, this up here, then throw in a little extra, get yourself something real nice. I fucking died.
So good.
Died.
So funny. Everything Randy Quaid does in that movie is amazing.
100%.
Even the small stuff when he's like shopping and he keeps throwing on more like dog food onto the fucking car.
And you can hear everything
Just-
crunching underneath it.
This isn't even counting
Yeah.
technically towards what you're about to offer me as I'm just laying in all this
30-pound
shit.
bags of dog food that he's throwing on there.
Oh,
Just
man.
randomly walking through.
and the grandparents,
Oh,
all the
yeah.
extended family, when they get the seriously old, 1,000,000-year-old aunt.
Yeah.
Does the national anthem?
You should say grace.
What?
Grace? They want you to say grace. Grace died 30 years ago.
The blessing.
The blessing.
He literally points to his lips at the blessing.
Oh, God, that's William Hickey, who played an old man for 50 years.
Yeah, he did.
Yes.
He was an old man.
Just watch
And
it.
then she does the Pledge of Allegiance
Yeah, exactly. Now,
instead of grace.
They'll stand up out of
Randy Quaid, nervous, kind of stands up at first and fucking heart over hand. That's just so great.
So good. So funny.
good.
And
No, I don't disagree. Like something, I don't know. It's for me. It doesn't. I don't know why I don't love it as much as everyone else. I have a shit ton of friends who love this movie. Like when we get together every year, we do a faux Christmas with my group of friends, and we just watch Christmas movies all day. And Christmas Vacation is the one that everyone finds time to show up and watch.
Hell yes.
And
Hell
so
yes.
I respect it. There are just some jokes that don't work, and it's Chevy being a little too Chevy at times. And so for me, it doesn't quite nail it as hard as I would like it to nail, like the first movie.
I got a
like
soft
the first
spot for
fucking
Chevy.
movie.
I got a soft spot for
I
Chevy.
respect that. Some
I
people
got a
do.
soft spot for him too, and I think that honestly, that movie was the last great Chevy Chase.
Yeah, that's the last.
starring role.
Right. Because he's great in
Yeah.
Community. He was great in Community.
He was great in Community.
Yeah.
He was, fine in other films that he's done since then.
Sure.
But that was the last of like that sweet spot era for him.
Yeah.
Well, because he came out with two or
shit.
three bad movies in that kind of era, so he was slowly losing his shot to headline a movie.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that was
Funny
the last
Farm.
time. Funny Farm. I saw that in the theater.
Me too.
So disappointed. God. So I was a kid, but I was like, I love Chevy Chase. I love Chevy Chase.
Funny Farm and Moving were the death of Chevy Chase and
Funny
Richard
Farm.
Pryor for me both.
Because I got a soft spot for Fletch Lives. 'Cause
Yeah, I like
him so
Fletch
much.
Lives.
It's bad, but I don't mind that.
Yeah.
And Springsteen. I had a soft spot for Julianne Nicholson as well, who was great. It was cute as hell in that movie. And so I always thought she was going to do more after Sisters and everything like that. But she didn't quite keep going.
You're talking about Juliette Lewis?
Yeah, Julia
No,
Louis-Dreyfus? No, the daughter?
No, the one who plays his girl, his love interest in Fletch Lives. That's,
In Fletch
Oh,
Lives.
I thought you were talking about Christmas. And I was like,
no.
oh, no, what in Christmas?
that's
Who?
Springsteen's ex-wife.
Oh. Yeah.
Yeah, he married her like right around the time. So anyway, so the film is very funny. So I respect the fact you guys have it at number one. I know, I get it. There's a lot. I mean, when they cut what does he say? No shit. When they cut the tree and everything and try to shove it in, all of that is funny. And the catch situation is hilarious. And all the stuff with Brian Doyle Murray is hilarious when they get him
As the boss,
Yeah.
bring him over. And
Sam McMurray's also in this movie now that I think about it.
Oh, who does he play?
He's the co-worker of Clark's at work. And he's the one where he's like, did you get your bonus yet? No.
Oh, yeah. My wife said there's something came in the mail today.
Came
So
in the mail. That's probably it.
Sam McMurray is hilarious in Raising Arizona.
Oh, God, yes.
yeah.
Damn.
So funny.
So, as into swine. Yeah,
He
he's so
told
good.
me that scene where he sticks his head out the car, you'll be hearing from my attorney, and then he sticks his head back in the car and bangs it on the window as he's sticking it back in. He said he had to do that like 15 times. Because every time he did it, someone new on the crew didn't realize he was going to and would laugh out loud and ruin the take.
Oh, Jesus. Oh, my God.
Gee, he nails it, too.
Oh,
man.
So good.
He got nailed. So then my number one is Beverly Hills Cop 2, which was the pump from before.
Sure.
This is a film I go back to and watch over and over and over again. This is the height of Eddie just before, like you said, just before Eddie starts to go down a little bit in his comedies. This is so much fun. And everything, deepening the relationship between him and Taggart and Rosewood is just incredible. You wouldn't expect that coming out of the first movie, that it would get that deep.
Yeah.
Like he's going through a divorce. The whole Gerald Ford thing in the strip club is funny. All of that they do with, and Brigitte Nielsen is really like kind of good in this film. Jurgen Prochnow, who's an awesome villain in the movie. Dean Stockwell. All those. So to me, it's just it's a lot of fun and enjoyable. And the things he gets away with, which would irritate me later on with Eddie's comedies, he nails it this time. Like the whole thing about having the person in the pool, and all the things that he's doing, like getting away. And the guy who I don't forget, he's the bad guy who's always yelling at them. And then when he just
Johnny Lutz?
Yeah, Lutz. And he just Johnny Wishbone right in front of him.
Yeah, I'm from St. Croix. Yeah, it was the last of where Eddie, like, that's still within the realm of I am happy to see that Eddie film.
Yeah.
Because after that, it's just like, it's pretty rare.
It is.
It sucks,
Nutty
too.
Professor was the next time that I thoroughly
I think
enjoyed
maybe,
him.
and then, I don't know, it's a lot of misses. It sucks because Eddie is one of my all-time favorites.
He is.
Agreed. Yeah, that did not make my list, not because it's not a great comedy, but because for me the first one is practically perfect.
Yeah, it's
That's
unimpeachable.
incredible that you use that as your reasoning. That's phenomenal from a person like you with Major League 2 on your motherfucking list.
Yep.
Because Major League 2 is a masterpiece.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, again, this must be an age thing. And I don't mean that in a bad way.
All right,
I
Levine.
was 2 years old when Beverly Hills Cop opened, and I was.
All right,
let's
so don't
see,
need to
the
say
sequel
that.
was what, 87?
Yes, 87 or 89, something
Something like
I
that,
think
yeah.
it's 87. I don't think
Yeah,
it's
it
as
probably
late
is.
as 89.
Oh, that's right.
But so then I'm 5.
Mr. Movie release dates over here. Yeah, I know.
Yeah, it's one
5
that I
years old.
suck at.
I didn't see it in theaters. I had to see it on
I think this is a good point,
VHS.
this actually, that you bring up, though, Sam. This idea of timing of when you see something.
Oh, yeah, 100% for comedy.
100%.
100%. Always does.
So, like you could see Grail at any time in your life and enjoy. I think Monty Python and the Holy Grail.
Yeah,
but like
probably.
you don't have to necessarily be out at that time. But the great ones are like that.
But
whereas things like this, not so much.
It's subjective. Comedies, that's why we do fewer comedy lists to me because it's harder to pin down because everybody's tastes are so wildly different.
Yeah.
Certain things that are like, that's a goddamn classic.
Yeah.
Like, I'm not a Blues Brothers fan.
Oh God,
I'm not.
I love that
Just
movie.
not a fan of that film.
Right.
And other people that hold it up in high esteem is just like, I don't get it. I've seen this thing a lot because it was on repeat on WGN for years.
Yeah.
4 years. I've seen this a lot. It's just like, I don't get it. It's not for me.
Do they show a lot of Chicago movies on WGN, like on repeat?
What's a Chicago? Yes. It helps boost up the.
I would imagine.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah.
Like Ferris Bueller is probably on rotation.
I'm sure it was like
yeah.
a huge chunk of time. Are you kidding me?
All right, side trivia.
Yeah.
WGN Network. What's WGN stand for? I'll give you a huge hint.
I'd have to
Huge
assume
hint.
it's something to do with the Wrigley family originally.
No,
Okay.
I'll give you a giant hint. It was, when it first started, it was owned by the Chicago Tribune Media Company.
So you don't say Wrigley.
No.
Nope, Wrigley is no part of it. It's
Jesus.
a weird one. It's a weird one. WGN stands for World's Greatest Newspaper. Swear to God.
All right.
Wow, that's one of the lamest fucking things I've ever heard of.
They've probably officially changed it to World's Greatest Network now.
Yeah.
But anyone, and that we're talking a large swath of the country gets WGN.
Yeah.
So I hope I've enriched your lives
Thank you.
somehow.
That's just ridiculous to start as a business and go, we're gonna have the world's greatest newspaper and just selling that to people. That's the title, as opposed to the Post, the Times, the Gazette, the
Well,
fuck all them.
Well, no, because it was the Chicago Tribune.
Yeah.
And then they called their station that they wound up acquiring World's Greatest Newspaper,
That's
WGN.
hilarious. All right, well, that's after that bit of trivia.
I'm so sorry. I wasn't supposed to be the closer.
No,
no, it's not the closer.
it was illuminating.
Yeah, very much so. And these are that's our lists separately, our top 10 lists separately. And now at the end of the show, we combine these lists. So this is going to be an interesting situation. I imagine I'm outvoted here. Are you going to write it? Why don't you write it down, Matt, and I'll do the banging?
Sure.
I know I did last week, but it's easier for me that way. I imagine
Christmas.
Yes.
Numero uno.
Number one. Now, Beverly Hills Cop 2, who else has that on their list? You do.
I've got it at 6.
That's my number one. Sam, what do you have at 2?
I don't have it.
What do you have at 2?
What do you have at 2?
Oh, my number 2 is Wayne's World 2.
Which neither of us have.
Yeah.
All right. So will you give me Beverly Hills Cop 2 there?
That makes the most sense. That's
Okay.
the next highest pairing, unless we have any trio that's... Do we have any other trio? Addams
Family Values.
Yes.
I have that as 4.
Ooh, I have that as 4 as well.
Yeah, I got that as 10, but we all have it.
Okay. So do you want to put that at 2 or at 3?
I would say that at 2, and
Okay.
then Beverly Hills Cop 2 at 3.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'll sign off on that. Yep. You guys get my approval.
Seal
on
of
that?
approval.
Yeah.
Samm Levine, ladies and gentlemen. Samm Levine.
Thank you.
All right, so now I guess we go to your number 2, I would imagine, right? Sam's number 2?
My number 2 is still Wayne's World 2.
Yeah, mine's Ace Ventura 2. What do you have at 2?
Oh, I had 22 Jump Street.
Which we both have. Mm-hmm. And I've got that at 5. Do we have any other combination higher than that, gentlemen?
I don't think so.
Speaking.
Bill and Ted, Shot in the Dark, Hot Shots Part 2.
No, that's lower for both of us.
Yeah, it's low for both of us, yeah.
I guess
22.
All right, 22
wow,
goes there.
That feels wrong, guys. I think if we re-listen to this like 15 years from now, you guys are gonna feel real embarrassed.
All right, now
Real embarrassed about that being so high.
You be quiet, Major League 2. You keep it down. All right, so then I think we have to give Sam's number 2 at this point, don't we? Like, I don't.
Well, I got his number 2's not on. My number 2's not on.
Yeah.
And your number 2, is that not on as well?
No, we just did it. 22
Okay.
Jump Street. Yeah.
I got Ace Ventura 2. What do you got? What was it again?
My number 2 is Wayne's World 2.
I guess you make the call.
I feel like I have to go
Saying
Wayne's World too. Yeah, only because I didn't laugh that much through Ace. So
I figured
you can do Ace after that. It's still on the list.
Yep.
All right. Where are we at now?
My number 3 isn't taken. Anybody else? But do we have any more commonality?
Well, no, we got Hot Shots Part 2.
Yeah, Hot Shots Part 2.
Okay. And
Yeah.
Naked Gun?
And Naked Gun, 2.5, right?
Yeah, you guys both had that.
Number 8 on Naked Gun?
Number 6 on Naked Gun.
Hot Shots.
It's my number 8.
It's my number 6.
Ooh.
That's the same exact thing.
Son of a bitch.
Should we flip a
So you
coin?
have to,
I just lost to you before, so I am going to steal that right there.
Go ahead.
is that the 9 and 10?
That's 7 and 8.
Oh, wow. We still have 2 more slots?
Yeah, we
All
still
right.
have 2 more slots.
All right. Monsters University is my next one. What's your next one?
Well, it's Addams. Let's see. Bill and Ted's Bogus Journey is my number 3. Addams Family Values. We got A Shot in the Dark. I mean, I know you don't have it on
I
there.
don't.
Because you've got
Pink Panther
Strikes Again, right?
Yeah, I do.
So your number 3 isn't taken. What's your next highest?
Monsters University, number 3.
Okay, my number 3. So we got basically who's going to get in on those final 2 spots.
What's your number 3?
Army of Darkness.
I'm Bill and Ted's Bogus Journey. Monsters.
I will cede Monsters University, so it'll be between you two. I don't have any problem. You guys haggle out wherever you. But I mean, I would vote Bill and Ted's over.
Yeah. Matt, you're...
Well, gee, why do I sense a theme developing here?
Knost, are you a smoker?
No.
Oh, damn. Would have been really great if you said yes.
No, I'm sorry. Formerly, but I quit a long time ago.
Oh, okay.
What's yours?
Well, mine was Army of Darkness. I think that
Well,
succeeds
you know,
more.
I'm not doing it from an impure place. You know, I'm not the biggest fan of the movie.
Here's why. I'm going to say Army of Darkness has
More jokes.
No, it's got more action than jokes.
Please.
Please, it does.
What are you talking? The action is only there to service the potential of the jokes that are coming. It is. It is in service of the comedy. As everything within the structure of that film is. All the choices of scenery, cinematography, acting.
My movie has a scene set in heaven where Albert Einstein is playing charades with these two aliens.
Yes.
Station.
And the answer is... Oh, Smokey and the Bandit too. Smokey is the bandit. But not before Death can inaccurately guess Butch and Sundance the early years.
There it is. That's the winner.
It's eventually Station becomes one person and makes a super whatever the fuck out of Legos.
Super giant naked dude.
No.
Yes.
It turns so
My
corny.
movie has George Carlin in it.
It turns so like
That's it. Game over. That's a
Who's
trump
not
card.
known for his stellar acting.
Whoa.
But he is known for his stellar comedic instincts. So he read that script and said
Not
yes.
instincts, execution. There
you go.
He is brilliant in every
It's also
scene.
got Pam
He's very
Grier in
rarely
it.
used it. I really feel Army of Darkness.
My movie has Joss Ackland in it. Playing the fucking bad guy.
It's true.
I still think mine succeeds more
And
than
he's
yours.
hilarious.
I still think...
He gets Melvined.
Diplomatic immunity. Yeah.
Well, you've already voted against me.
Well, is that against you? And you're voting my pure thoughts.
I lose on that again. So
Come
Army
on.
of Darkness.
It's our guest. Come
What?
is number 10.
Yeah, there you go.
Right.
It's our guest.
Just because I write it down technically doesn't make it official until it's said aloud.
Oh, I see.
So I can put what was the
Mind your
title
P's and Q's.
what was the title of yours again? What do you got over there?
I don't know.
It somehow beats Army of Darkness.
Yeah, it's going to be controversial. People are throwing things at their radio. I'm supposed to. Oh, radio. Jesus Christ. How old am I? Let me tell you something.
Well,
the
where
old
are
time
you?
radio.
Were you an extra in A Shot in the Dark? Is that?
As one of the nudists. All right. Well, let's do our list, shall we? All right, Sam. This is what we do. So,
Okay.
Give me that sweet falsetto.
that's right. The top 10 comedy sequels. Yeah. At number 10.
Army of Darkness.
At number 9.
Bill and Ted's Bogus Journey.
At number 8.
Hot Shots Part 2.
At number 7.
Naked Gun 2.5.
At number 6.
Ace Ventura 2 When Nature Calls.
At number 5.
Wayne's World 2.
Numero 4.
22 Jump Street.
Number 3.
Beverly Hills Cop 2.
Number 2.
Addams Family Values.
And our number 1 comedy sequel film is...
National Lampoon's Christmas Vacation.
Boom! That's a good list of movies, I think.
That's an excellent list of
Right?
movies.
A lot of good things to bring you...
I need to go back and apparently watch Wayne's World 2 again.
Melakaliki Maka.
And Anchorman 2.
Yes, give Anchorman 2 a rewatch. It's not perfect from start to finish.
No.
There is a sequence in there that we probably all could have done without, but I swear I laughed really, really hard at the first 40 minutes of that movie.
Okay.
And then portions after that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Then the shark happens.
And then the shark stuff.
The sleeping with the shark thing is ridiculous. Anyway, yeah. So there you go. All right. Samm Levine, thanks so much.
My pleasure. Thank you for having me on.
Oh, I hope you had a good time.
I did. I would talk movies with you guys anytime.
Ooh, I like that idea.
we go.
Where can people find you, Sam?
You can find me on the Twitters and the Instagrams. I'm at Samm Levine, SAMMLEVINE.
And do you have anything else going on? Like, do you have anything you want to plug or push? Like any other things? Do you have a
Yeah, you know
podcast
what? I do a
yourself?
podcast with Kevin Pollak called
What?
Kevin Pollak. You knew this, didn't you?
No, I didn't know this.
Really? You didn't know that? I
No,
knew
I
that.
don't get invited to these outings.
It's not an outing.
I love Kevin Pollak.
We recorded in a studio.
Yeah, at his house, isn't it?
No, we do it at the West Side Comedy Theater.
Oh my gosh.
We never did it in his house, no.
Huh.
He had
I swear
one.
he said that he did it like
He had
from his
one.
place in Venice or something.
Didn't he have one himself?
No. What's that?
Didn't he have one himself?
Pollak?
By himself?
No,
was this always the one
is
he's
it.
done?
Yeah.
We've been doing it for 9.5 years.
Well, I've listened to a few episodes. A friend of mine's are massive fans of it. So
So I've been producing that and co-appearing. I don't want to say co-hosting because he is the host, but I've been doing that with him for a while, and we've had some great guests, and I fill in for him as guest host from time to time.
Okay.
And just last week, I interviewed the aforementioned Tim Meadows.
Oh, nice.
Who was
nice.
spectacular, and he was such a great guest, and that is available for download now on iTunes and on earwolf.com. So definitely check that out. Check out our backlog of episodes. We do a lot of video and audio most of the time.
Yeah.
So you can see great people. Some of our favorites over the years with Larry David, Tom Hanks. I don't know. It's too many to mention, too many to remember, frankly.
Yeah,
So,
9.5 years? Yeah.
So
Sure, it's a blur.
we're 350 episodes in or something. So check that out for sure.
Have you had Clark Wolf on that show?
We've not had Clark on the show. We definitely should remedy that.
Well, we should remedy this too. We should remedy John Rocha on that goddamn show. All right, so
I'm unfamiliar.
I'm familiar with his work.
I don't know his work.
I hate you. Anyway, so Samm Levine, thanks so much for stopping by and being
My
a part of the
pleasure,
show.
fellas.
It's been awesome. Guys, give him some love on Twitter. Let him know that you enjoyed him being on the show. You know, that's one of the great things about guests that come on. You guys do such a great job of giving them all kinds of love on all across the social media. So, and a lot of them come back and comment how much they appreciate our fan base because because there's so much negativity.
They're
on the
rabid.
internet. Yeah.
Oh, good.
And they're very positive.
And the nice thing is when they agree with you, they will turn on us, and I appreciate
Yes,
that.
it's
I do
absolutely
appreciate
true.
that.
Great.
Absolutely.
Hey, Sam's right. You guys are idiots. Be
Yeah.
like, well, there's two people that are wrong in the world.
I look forward to the two people who agree with me about Major League 2.
Yes, I agree with you.
You'll get more than that.
Tom Berenger,
You'll get
Corbin
more than that.
Burnson. That's it.
I thank both of you in advance.
All right, Matt, we should wrap this up. Anything you want to say?
Hit us up on Facebook.com/groups/the Top 10 Show with the number 10, and me on whatever at Matt Knost, MattkNost.
And you guys can always find me at The Rocha Says on Twitter and on Instagram, and of course doing various stuff on Collider. But please, if you want to, listen, one of the great things you guys have done is donate so much to the Patreon. We really appreciate every month it keeps growing. It's so incredible. And people are clamoring for T-shirts now, which we should totally do very, very, very soon.
Yeah, the old episodes, people are starting to have discussions about. I saw it today, and I was like, I don't remember what we talked about.
Yeah, at all.
So tell me, this is the episode. I remember that conversation. Yeah.
We've started giving out our old episodes.
What episode did the package get delivered at my house? Let me know.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
Yeah, that just happened on Rand 1. I don't remember which one it was.
Oh, I have no idea when that one was.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's right.
No idea.
But yeah, so you can donate www.patreon.com/the top 10, the number 10. And, the multiple tiers there. And if you donate high enough, you can be part of the Thunderdome. If you donate even higher, you can choose a topic that we talk about, which we did last week with Matthew Hasso. Matthew Hasso's topic. And speaking of which, I owe him a list, and we'll
his top
end this-
10?
Yeah, his top 10 list, which I forgot to say. All right, here we go. His top 10 sword and sandal epics were number 10, rather, Krull. Number 9, Hawk the Slayer. I have no idea what Hawk the Slayer is.
Me either.
Number 9, Sword and the Sorcerer. Number 7, Beastmaster.
Whoa.
Number 6, Kingdom of Heaven. People have a thing for Kingdom
Somebody
of
said
Heaven.
watch the director's cut. It's infinitely better.
It's also 3 hours long.
Okay.
Who has the time?
Yeah, exactly. Number 5, Jason and the Argonauts.
Sure.
Number 4, 300.
Okay.
Number 3, Clash of the Titans, the 80s version.
I figured that was going to be the popular consensus.
Sure. Number 2, Conan the Barbarian.
Okay.
And number 1, Ben-Hur. He said, massive thanks to you and Knost for providing such great content. My daughter, who we gave, his daughter had just been born while we were talking to him. She finished up 10 DC films, and she loved the shout out. And he said, yes, I think Seven Samurai can be included as a sword and sandal film. So there you go.
And don't forget, your daughter now owes us $5.
She does.
got a shout out on the show.
Yeah.
And people pay $5 for that. So
That's right. Don't be chintzy, Hasso.
Exactly.
Don't be chintzy.
Wow.
There it is. All right. Well, thanks everybody.
I'd add more to that, but I'm so tired. I was like, that's all I got. Boom. And it seems harsh, but it really is.
It's true.
So,
Way to close strong, guys.
Thank you. That was me falling off the cliff and not caring. It's like, I'm resigned to die right now.
Me just looking, going, he'll get up eventually. Thanks again, everyone, for listening, and we will talk to you next week on the Top 10 Show.